You
We're
two,
gonna
he's a
do it
clown.
live. Did you seriously just say that these guys are better than Soundgarden?
Yep,
Your
all day,
streets
every
have
day.
no name.
Yep, it's a classic. Will go down in history as a classic. That has meaning. Back when they were
Are
angry
you
and very
kidding me?
political. No, I'm not
Is there
kidding you.
anybody out there on the planet, please, in the world of YouTube, who would tell me that Bono and the
No, you
streets
too.
have no name is
Not
better
just the
than
front man.
Soundgarden
All day.
in any way, shape, or form? Chris
Subjective.
Cornell.
All day.
Chris Cornell, the greatest hard
All
rock
day.
singer of all time.
That's subjective.
It's not subjective. It
It
is a
most certainly
fact.
is. It's not a
No,
fact.
no, 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 no.
Okay, let's. If we're talking about
Let's
absolutes and
hear
facts
you
and
hit.
music,
Let's
listen to
hear
me
you hit those high notes
with my
in
voice.
any Soundgarden song. Let's see.
It's not
Let's
going to
hear you
happen.
sing
I'm no
any
Freddie
sound.
Mercury. Are you kidding me? A little
Freddie
Merle
Mercury
Haggard,
did
maybe.
not sing as good as Chris
No,
Cornell.
that's true. I'll give you that. He's one of the greatest by far. What's up, Josh Rubio? Me and Max having a discussion about great bands. Please tell me you've heard of U2 and you think they're fantastic.
Josh is sort of.
Day at a
Josh is sort
time.
of.
What's up, lady? Good to see you here.
Josh, I appreciate
Josh?
it. You know what I'm talking about. Today we're going to talk a little bit about when things get you down, and we're all just being people here. You know, it's been a long, arduous time where everybody is. Their, maybe emotions get the better of them because they've been worn and ground down. I mean, we have the Cootie variant, the first start, then we have the moronic variant, the next start, and then we've got the Delta, and then we got the super Omicron, super transformer. Oh, who's going to come out and go get us? And everyone's being attacked on all sides. And, it's rough for everybody right now. We just want to bring a little bit of levity and just talk about just general chat and general things and not be too serious and don't take anything too seriously. But we're going to have some knowledge to play. Number one of the knowledge is going to be that there is no way Bono was a better singer than the Soundgarden. No way. And I don't even.
I didn't say Bono.
Jack-
I didn't
Jack
say
is
that. Don't put words
obviously-
into my mouth, man. A group, band, all together. I didn't specifically say Bono.
As a group
We were
band, Soundgarden is better than U2.
No, never. Not even on a close day. No way.
Are you kidding me?
No,
We're
and I
gonna have
actually
an
like
impasse. Do I have to come down
An
there and
impasse.
go? I'm gonna have to come down there.
I have a special skill set you don't want to.
Oh, please! You have a special way of saying stuff.
I do on that because
you
you
can't
know I'm
actually
special.
back it up with anything.
Oh, I can
I'll
back
be
it
down
up.
there. I'll be down
Yeah.
there.
Max, you don't want none.
I'm gonna spin me up a baseball bat and come down there.
Never gonna happen. I love you, but don't make me have to hurt you, man.
Okay.
Oh, listen to this. I've got a good one for you.
Sounds like Britney Spears. Britney Spears.
Now tell me that's not pure gold. That's just classic, man.
It's
I don't
Britney
care who
Spears.
you are. Man, get out of here. Make me come up there.
That's
Whatever.
craziness.
Well,
You're
it's,
saying
it's
this guy
my
can play
teenage
guitar?
years. It's what I experienced. I
I
view my life
understand that
through
you have,
music,
you have an
culture.
emotional affinity.
Oh,
to it,
yeah.
like a little girl.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. Well, I'm 52 now. I get very emotional, man.
Yeah, well,
let's
you
not
grew up
touch that
slow.
button. I grew up with a house full of women too. So what are you gonna do, man?
Yeah.
Hey, Victoria, what's up, lady? What
Yeah, Vic.
variant are we on now?
Yeah, people
Max's
who want to come
inability
on,
to reason. Good music.
people who want to come on, it was going to be Jack's thing, and we'll just do it on my channel because I somewhat have it set up, and I'm trying to get my things to work. They were not working last time I did a live stream. Now they are. I have no idea why. I didn't click any
That's
different
strange.
buttons. The buttons just work now, so that's just how it is. Yeah, we're lamenting the loss of the last couple of years and talking about, people's psychology. Even the strongest people out there have really changed, and myself included, myself probably the most. At least
Yeah.
recognize, I spend a lot of time in self-examination and self-reflection and what is going on with myself because, I am a narcissistic, complete asshole, whatever people want to
I
call
agree.
me. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. But, I want to know what the hell is going on in my head and why I'm doing the things I'm doing. And a lot of it has to do with this stupid garbage, the mind control stuff that's going on in the world. And it doesn't matter how based you are, it doesn't matter how retarded you are, it doesn't matter whatever. People are all affected by this stuff, and
Yep.
it makes people crazy. And you have to have a shit ton of grace, okay,
Yes,
for
you do.
everybody out there. And
Absolutely.
I am the worst. I'm not a guy to look up to for this because I don't. It's my failing. I don't have any grace. No.
Well,
when it
that's a
comes
lie.
to when it comes to this stuff and this BS that's going on right now, but there's a lot of things that manifest as a result. You can understand that the psyop that's going on, you can understand the inflation, you can understand the enslavement, you can understand all these things, but they may manifest as stress in some other area of your life that you don't even
Yeah.
understand about.
Absolutely.
And you have to give people grace for that.
Right. It's a tough call, man. That's what the Lord's called us to do, and that's bottom line. Because look, we all know in this community the Lord's all about grace, and it's abounding, and it's beyond our recognition and our comprehension.
Well, the world's
He's long suffering. We're not. We're fallible. We battle
Lord's
the flesh like Paul talked about. So it's difficult now in this world. You damn right it is.
I will say the Lord's about grace until the Lord pokes a finger in your eye exactly about what you shouldn't have grace for.
Yeah.
And we're not going through a period right now where you can really poke somebody's finger in the eye for something. Okay?
Yeah.
If you're going to poke a finger in the eye, you're called the bad man because you're poking the finger in their eye saying, are you a freaking retard?
Well, you can't speak truth to power.
Everything is bad. No, you can't actually judge somebody. You can't actually say what's true anymore. You can't actually chastise somebody. You can't actually, bully. Oh, it's bullying. Bullying is a great thing. Bullying and
I grew up with
chastisement is a great thing.
Yep.
Because when you have a kid who is out of line, who's not doing something they shouldn't be doing, you have a whole bunch of people going, hey, man, that ain't right.
Yep.
That is great. But now in today's society, it's, whoa, you do that, you're going to end up in Facebook jail. You do that, you're going to end up in the corner. You're going to end up in the corner in your local, whatever, brainwashing institution, whatever it happens to be. And that's how it is. And you have to deal with that. And that's a whole separate thing of like people who understand what is going on and having to deal with the idiocy and the moronicness of actual daily life. We are all going to crack. And that's the whole game plan. And we know how slow the government works. It's going to be a long, long, long time. And what can we do to try and preserve the slightest ounce of our own sanity throughout the whole thing? What I have to say about that is that the best thing you can do is get yourself straight and not worry about it and understand what it is and make a shit ton of money. And sorry to say that is the Bible talks about the money being the root of evil. Well, the Bible doesn't say that.
Yeah, the love of money's not.
Right. Money is not evil. And people can make an ass ton of money right now because the world is falling apart. And if you put your money in the right places and invest in the right things, you won't ever have to worry about money again. And all of this stupid stuff that goes around is kind of like buzzing noises, like little mosquitoes that you have to deal with from time to time. And a lot of people don't have to deal with people on a regular basis, but if you work at a regular job and are regularly doing your thing, go to work, bring things up, talk to them about what's going on. I work at a grocery store where I literally for the last 6 months have been raising prices 25% on every single item I touched for 6 months. That's over 1,500 items.
And on top of that, no semi-intellectual conversations to be had with anyone. It's just small talk, and that's it. That's all it's amounted to now with people.
My manager doesn't believe me when I tell them that I raise prices by 25%.
Really
Nope,
interesting.
because they don't put the price tag on the
Right.
shelf. They
Right.
don't get to compare them. And I'm like, since day one, I've been like, up, time to raise prices. And they're like, well, sometimes they go up, sometimes they go. No, they don't
Yeah,
go
twice
down.
a day, 3 times a day. You've told me before, right?
4 times in a week, I raised the price and lowered the price on Baja Cola or Baja, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
It's a sports drink or something like that.
Yeah.
That could have been an internal issue. I don't know. But the point being is that everything in your grocery store is up by 25%. How do I know this? Max Bauer's a liar. He's an idiot. He's just a crazy person. I
Of
work
course
at a
not. I've
grocery
seen that
store changing
firsthand.
prices.
Right. At my local store,
I
I
am
go to all the time.
assistant crack whore changing prices.
All right.
And
Don't
You know-
belittle yourself, man.
look, no, I'm not
It's work.
belittling. No, it is what it is. It's a
Right.
job. And
Right.
I do it. And I specifically went to work to go do that job. I make way less than what I'm worth, and I don't care. That's the job that I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I'd like to have kid around and kick around the can that I'm an assistant crack or price changer, whatever. The problem is I don't want to, the person who I work for, that would make them the main crack whore. I don't want to, I'm just making a joke. I'm not trying to be negative towards my boss. I'm not trying to be negative towards anybody else.
I get
My job is whatever. I put up prices.
it. Sure. It's menial,
It's
but it's
nothing.
a task. Right.
But I did it specifically because I wanted to keep a track on exactly what's going on with the economy.
Right.
And I can know exactly how much I'm getting screwed. So if I make $10 an hour and my cost of my soup goes up by 30%, okay, I no longer make $10 an hour. I make $7 an hour.
That's right.
People do not understand this at all. At all.
No, they were not taught that primarily in school.
Hey,
No,
put your
on
fucking
purpose.
money in Bitcoin, buddy. It's going to go up by more than 15% by the end of the year. That's it. I mean,
Well, that's
put
true.
it,
It's
keep it
gonna
in your
offset
bank account.
hyperinflation.
Keep it in your bank account. They're going to steal 2% by the end of the year.
Yep, more than that, actually.
Well, they are going to do negative interest rates in the bank accounts
Yep.
because they have to.
Sure.
But
Steal
the
that
thing
money.
is like, people out there do not understand what a critical mass this is. The official from the federal government, Federal Reserve inflation rate is 7%.
That's ridiculous.
That means if you did not get a 7% raise last year or this year, you're losing money going to work.
Yep.
Now, if you make the federal minimum wage of $7.50, that means you make $5 an hour. How many of you out there are going to live on $5 an hour?
You can't. Destitution.
Why
What
am
they
I
want.
so
They
big?
said they wanted it all, you know.
Why am I so big into crypto? Why? Bah, I have
'Cause
no
it's
idea.
non-federal
Oh,
and it's safe. And
It's the
based
mark
on
of the
something
beast.
No, not at all.
Look, guys,
Everything's
the
a
only
baby
way,
mark.
the only chance, the only thing anybody ever has here, if you're working day to day, is you have to start putting a couple of bucks here and there into frickin' Bitcoin. That's it. That's it. Because you're losing. Do you think the next time you go to your job evaluation, whatever they call it, your review,
Interview. Yeah.
where they pretend? They literally pretend. Okay. They pretend that they can actually raise your wages or lower your wages, and they really can't. The guy that you're interviewing with, he doesn't have any power. The guy that you work for, you think you work for, the manager at your job, he doesn't have any power. Nobody has any power at the place you work.
Just the corporations, the heads.
You got to go up, up,
Yep.
up the chain. And then you got to go to the bean counter. And what's the bean counter say? Whatever the computer algorithm tells him. And he feeds that off to the board of directors, and the board of directors approve based on whatever comes back down to you. Nobody you work with has any authority over whatever the hell you do at your job. Okay? Nothing. As far as what you make, as far as your time off, as far as anything. People are all just slaves. There is no way they can ever deviate from their 5 stars as opposed to 2 stars. Nobody ever gets 1 star in that metric. It's been this way for 20 years, people. It's all based on the inflation rate.
Yep.
You're never, ever, ever, ever getting more than 5 stars. 5%. I get a 5% raise. Guess what? You're still down 10%. Do you understand now why you might need some Bitcoin in your life? You're still down 10%. So we have a little bit of a problem here as we go forward, where everybody is collapsing and everyone's like just trying to muscle through. I'm gonna muscle through. I'm gonna put up with all the stupid bullshit, and I'm gonna listen to whatever over here, and listen to whatever over here, and Facebook tells me this, and Drudge Report tells me that, and whatever. It's tune it out.
Yep. I absolutely agree. It's information overload.
None of that shit matters to anybody.
Nope.
Nobody cares. Hey, all the things you think are real problems right now really probably won't be problems tomorrow or the next day or 6 months from now or whatever. You need to look at the long game. And the long game is you've been getting robbed by at least 5% a year for the last 20 years. Right now, you're getting robbed for 15% a year, which means that right now, in order for you to make minimum wage that was paid out in 1965, you would have to make $55 an hour. So, do you feel good about your job right now? That maybe you're a double master's degree guy or something like that? Are you making $55 an hour? Because that's minimum wage back in 1965. You feel good? What if you're making $10 an hour? You're not even really making anything. You're just a slave. You're no better than people in China making your lollipops. What do you think about that? What do you think? What are you going to do going forward? Are you going to help yourself, or are you not going to help yourself? What are you going to do? Are you going to blame it on God? God put you in this position. If you're listening to me, God put you in the position to listen to me. And I'm in that same, don't think I'm any different. I'm the same dude. I lost a lot of stuff, and I'm going to kind of sort of blame God because of the way that it went. And you know what? He did it for my benefit, and I'm working through it.
Amen.
Doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. Doesn't mean I have to be glad, like, oh, God just robbed me. No. Allowed it to happen. And does it really affect my lifestyle? We'll see. The point being is that everyone goes through trouble and trauma and trials and whatever. But if you think that this thing that's going away and this malaise that is coming over the public is going to go away anytime soon, guys, hey, watch my video from 2020.
Sure.
Watch it from 2020. Yep. This is not going to stop until 2025. It ain't happening.
Don't bust my camera, Matt.
Dude, it ain't happening. This is not going to stop until 2025. It's funded by the Federal Reserve and it's funded by the Rothschilds. Yep. Rockefeller Group. It was already done. Operation Lockstep. Done. Yep. 2025 is the stop. So if you want to give up now and you want to say, oh, I'll just go along with the flow for a little bit. No. This stuff can only happen because of people's complacency. Can only happen.
And compliance. That's right.
That's what complacency means, Jack. I will I'll send you a dictionary.
It's been a long day, man. If I was only good with words.
Anyways,
But that's true. That's a good point. And people, don't take Max out of context. He's coming at you with a certain mindset because he's been through it, especially a lot here lately. I think we all have in a lot of different ways. And from the aspect of money, allocations, true money, he's right. Because I used to defend the other position. And I've been wrong. We all have, but I can admit it. And I wised up and listened to this man, and he helped me out. So anybody in this community that knows Max, he's coming at a place that not only does he have personal experience, hard experience, but he cares enough to, let everyone know there's a different way.
it's a peaceful way.
Sure, there's a lot of potential there. There really is.
I mean,
he's looking after your interest. Go ahead, man.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and I'll just say that the reason that I am very hard and very harsh in what I say is because I am an idealist. And, idealists will get very beat up a lot of times, but we're also out here to point out the ideal of things. When we look at something like right now, we're in an economic crisis, and it's not a secret. I mean, this stuff is on MSNBC. But the difference is with MSNBC is they're trying to feed you what the narrative is, and they're trying to feed you what the outcome is going to be. Oh, look at the Dow 500, and look at what the Federal Reserve is going to do, and they're going to save our economy. And that's not reality.
Right.
That's all just a bunch of fantasy games to make a bunch of billionaires trillionaires. That's all that is. The reality of the situation is, if you want real wealth, you have to control actually your money and your energy and your effort. You have to control it. And if you control it, there is no wars necessary, because if governments cannot tax you and governments cannot control your job or control your income, they don't have any power. Literally none. So that's the importance of having something like a Bitcoin or something. You have wealth. Some would say silver, well, my silver and my gold coins. Okay, there's nothing wrong with silver and gold coins and things like that for investments. But the problem is that literally soldiers come to your door who are paid by fiat mystery crypto bullshit currency, like bullshit currency. Fiat currency is bullshit, 100%, 100%. I cannot, people who feel bad.
Intrinsic value.
Anybody listening to this who feels bad about taking money from the government to get food stamps, go take fucking money from the fucking government to take food stamps. It's all bullshit. All of it. All of it. It's all bullshit. None of it has any value. None of it. Proven by the fact they have negative interest rates.
Yep. Bingo.
Meaning that I can go to work. I can go to work at a job, and then I owe them money for working there. That's what negative interest rates is. But hey, if you have the printer, and you can just print that stuff out of nothing. That's why we're in the situation we're at. They've been doing it for a long time. America is at the top. America is not going to crumble. There isn't going to be a Mad Max scenario in America, at least not for a long time. But you have to understand that the point is to remove the middle class. It has been for 30 years. Yep. Remove them, and we have our trillionaires, and then we have our guys who make $800 a month. And that's where we have. We have our trillionaires and the guys who make $800 a month. And that's where it's going to be. And who's going to control what the $800 is? Federal Reserve. Now, if you have something like Bitcoin, who's to say how much taxes you owe on that? Nobody knows, because they haven't made any laws. Nobody knows. They say it's property. Well, I tax it like a house.
Yep.
Well, you can't tax it like a house because you're making a profit, capital gains. I'm like, well, I don't make capital gains on a house. Well, you want our money. I'm like, well, you can take it. Try and take it from me. Take it. And you can't. It's not in a bank account.
Right.
Oh, we can't tax it. We can't take it away from them. And we don't have any money to pay our Gestapo to go and try and steal it.
Sure.
You realize
'Cause essentially
people
the
don't
system's
realize
trying
that.
to collect that money back from the crown from your birth certificate. And if you can get off that system, more power.
That's
to you.
gone. That's gone, man. That birth certificate shit is gone. It's done. There is no more of that. People don't understand that.
I
People
get
don't
it.
even know what
I get it.
people don't even know what we're talking about with the birth
I
certificate
understand.
thing, but
I get it.
all of the fiat, all of the debt-based system is dead. It's gone. It's been gone since Bitcoin. It's completely eradicated.
Yep.
Right now, we're
Another
just
rabbit
living
trail.
off the chaff. And you need to go out there and try and gather as much of that freaking chaff as you possibly can. Because you're going to be fricked if you're stuck with $100,000 in your bank account and you think that's going to carry you through, because that dollars ain't going to
It's
be
not.
there.
Right.
You're $100,000
'Cause
right
that's
now.
not your money, essentially. Once it goes into the bank, it actually belongs
Well,
to
they
them
tell you
anyway.
that's not your money. Federal
Right.
Reserve notes are called Federal Reserve
Right.
notes.
No
You have
more gold
$100,000 today. In 1 year, they're worth $85,000 by the government's own records. And that's compounding. People are concerned about compounding interest on their house.
Trickle down economics, right? It's a whole new term.
That's a
Bend you over
Republican.
again.
People who consider themselves Republican conservatives. Yeah, it's a scam. It's
Yeah,
a
sure.
scam.
Absolutely.
And it sucks. And people's focus here now as we go on forward should be, of course, to put your faith in God and to do the difficult thing. And actually,
Unlearn what you've learned.
well, I don't know about that. That requires some agency of people. I think that the difficult thing is actually to talk to people right now, because people don't talk to each other. They all sit there with their masks and go, and then you
All
go,
by design.
and then you go, what? And you go, all right, man.
No more
And that's
personability.
people's-
Take the humanity out of it.
Well, right. People's interactions have been debased to that.
Yep. Absolutely.
And
Sad but true, man.
the most important thing beyond anything is to go out of your way to actually talk to people and determine one by one whether or not they're a retard. And I'm going to guarantee you that 99% of people are going to be retards, and it sucks. And
all part of the matrix.
Well, you'd like to think that when you go out there and you deal with people, that you'd like to think that that's just an over exaggeration or an over realization, but then no, people are fucking stupid. And then you're like, why even tell people anything? And then when you do tell
ignorant,
them
dumb, sure, stupid.
and then when you do tell them something, they tell you about how bad you are. Well, you're a bad man. You tell them that, like, yeah, it's kind of dumb to believe evolution because
that's what political correctness is giving us,
Well,
So
yeah.
that's part of the mind control
It's-
psyop too, war on words, man. Everybody's offended, and you can't speak truth, and it's just stay in your bubble and shut up.
Well, that's all that stuff is not one-on-one things that you talk about, though. That's all crap that's
That's
on
true.
the news, and I don't
Right.
know about that because I haven't watched the news in 20 years. So
I hear you. It's good.
I look at Drudge Report just to laugh at it. When you're talking to people like one-on-one, you can actually talk to them and tell them, and
Yeah, 'cause
and
it's
then they're gonna look at
personal.
you and go, "You're a bad man because I like the rocket ships that go to the moon, and I don't like that.
Oh,
I like
man.
watching.
I find that out on Twitter the hard
I
way.
like watching sci-fi, and I like watching
Man.
this." And it's like, yeah, I like sci-fi too.
I love it.
I sort of like The Expanse. It's kind of gotten really shitty, but I understand
Yeah, it
what you're
has.
talking about with that.
Yeah.
I understand that, but it's all bullshit because you
Earth is
can't.
flat. You can't go to space.
I
It
don't
doesn't
even have to
exist.
go to flat Earth. I don't even have to come close to flat Earth.
No, I fully understand that.
There's
Throw
so
out a
many
nugget or
things
two.
that are logically incomprehensible according
Yep.
to modern day science.
Scientism.
It comes back to that, you know, a lot of the stuff, you look at the buildings that are around, you look at the stuff, it seems like everybody's been veiled for the last couple of 100 years. I don't know what's going on, but it ain't like they says it is.
Nope, not at all.
And it's
We've definitely been duped. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
No way around it.
all I can say is, rather than losing your shit, don't go taking a bunch of opiates and checking out, because a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah, they
And
are.
I can totally understand it. I completely
Yeah,
understand.
me too. Yeah,
They ain't,
unfortunately.
and it's like, oh, you're getting beaten down from all different angles. And I don't know. I can't say persevere to just live through it, because that's just stupid. A lot of people say that.
Well, there's a lot
It's
more to
like,
life than just existing.
the
You
whole
know?
exactly the whole prepper movement, that whole thing. That's why I could never get into it. Of course, I had my storable food. I listened to Alex
Well,
Jones.
there's a lot of good
Right.
stuff out there.
I had a,
A
I,
lot of
I
field
had my,
porn too.
but the whole basis of it was to be afraid of something out there that you cannot control, and somehow you can control it by doing nothing. That is the entire basis of it. I can control this thing that's probably going to happen by doing nothing. All I have to do is spend money, and I can get out of it. I can just spend money. And that is a complete old
Yeah, it's not the
society.
same as learning a skill set and actually becoming
Right.
self-reliant.
I'm going to talk about reality here.
Okay.
Reality
Let me
is
have it,
is
man.
that right now, in this day and age, if you have enough money, laws do not apply to you.
That's a fact.
So it doesn't matter what the hell is going on outside. As long as you have enough money, you can deal with all of it. Which is why I say you have to protect your wealth. Now, when
Absolutely.
all of this system is gone, which it will be, okay, it's not a question of really if or even when. The question is how are you going to prepare for it? The debt
Yep.
system is going to be gone, where nobody can take out a loan. There is going to be none of that stuff anymore. It's all going to be hard money. Where are you going to be on the end of that?
In a
And
bread
where are
line,
you right now?
or are you going to be on the crypto exchange? Being independent?
Well, it could be crypto, it could be silver, it could be gold, it could be something.
Sure. Right.
But if
Something
you're sitting
intrinsic.
on like 10, 20 grand in your bank account, what the hell are you doing? You're losing money just by having it sit there.
Yeah.
You can literally throw a fucking dart at the board, crypto, gold, silver, and you're going to do better. But there's the boomer way. I don't know where my money goes. It goes to my money manager, and I told them
I'm
to
not
do
leaving
it.
you nothing.
I
Let alone
don't,
sharing
as
information
long
that's
as I
vital.
can take it all with me, and I can have lollipops
Yeah.
lining my casket, and then I'm going to make it solid gold if I had money left. And then maybe a pony. 'Cause I never had a pony when I was a kid. Well, I'll have a pony, and they can shoot the pony and put the pony in my casket so I can take it with me. Eh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Materialistic bill of goods people have been sold.
Fucking disgusting, nihilistic group of
Sure.
just
Very nihilistic.
degenerate
But
people.
that's by design too. A lot of that's human nature
I know.
as well. But
I
you
know.
know, right.
I know it is.
It's
just
frustrating.
I know a lot of good boomers, but like the amount of good boomers to crap boomers is like
The ratio's way off. Yeah, man. No doubt. It's like my dad. I keep bringing
they're
up, but he was a rare
really
breed.
great. You know, all of that I've learned, I wouldn't say all, but a lot of where I learned about finance and about what's going on with the economy are people really, all it takes to know how the market are going to move is to been around a while. That's it. It's not a signal. It's not a trend. It's not a technical analysis. It's not anything. It's just being in the market for long enough. You know where the market is going to go.
Sure.
And the people who have been in the
Predictive
market the
analytics.
longest right now that feel like giving back to people are
Yeah.
some of the boomers. And those boomers, like Robert Kiyosaki, says, I feel incredibly bad for my employees because they'll never have a future. Because the baby boomers have robbed them
Yep.
of everything they ever had. And he employs them. And his employees, I guarantee you, watch his show. How would you feel about being an employee of Robert Kiyosaki? Are you going to be mad at that guy? Are you going to respect him for the fact that he told the truth? Everybody else is being told a lie
Yep.
about how much of a slave they are. Kiyosaki says none of you have any future.
Yeah. What a statement to make, you know. But it's like
Another
you say,
boomer.
it's being real. It's putting it out there.
Man, I'm going to talk about all the boomers. Okay.
Leave me out of it.
Max Kaiser. You're not a boomer yet. You got a couple of years. Max Kaiser, boomer. Retired when he was 32. And he talks about how the wealth is being absolutely stripped out of the country and the working people to go into Jeff Bezos and to go into Elon Musk and all these people who are just fucking shells of human beings. They're not even real people. Elon Musk, you think that guy's a genius? You think so? Who crashed his car when he was 15? Who ran around fucking Spain hawking fucking diamonds
No, he's a government
from his
shield.
rich ass family, who bought the Tesla Corporation from actual brilliant people,
Yeah.
and then said
Tesla
that
being one of
he
them.
started it. He said that he started it. He said he started Facebook
Right.
after the Facebook people threw him out of the company. You know, just all of this stuff is lies. And the only way that it's propagated is because money is not based on anything. Because as soon as you need to shut somebody up, as soon as you need to do something here, do something there, you give a ring to the Federal Reserve and those people that need to know and the people that be. And as long as you're in that little special family that nobody gets to know about, free money. And you know what?
Absolutely.
Cryptocurrency and Bitcoin changes that. Because even though they can buy a lot more Bitcoin than you can buy, guess what? When they spend that Bitcoin, you get to see exactly where those transactions go.
Yep.
Which is why the government hates
Transparency.
cryptocurrency. It's not because of drug dealers. It's not because of anything else. Because everything is actually transparent on the blockchain, and we can see where every nickel goes. Not even a nickel, 1,000th of a penny.
Right.
Satoshi. We can see where every Satoshi goes. And the government gets their hand. They have to operate in Bitcoin. What are people going to say when they see 1,000 Bitcoin going over to Kosovo to go kill
Fast
little
and
kids
Furious again. Sure.
and go prop up some little governor or some little bullshit CIA agent over there? Oh, people can see all over the world. There is no more CNN. There is no more Fox News. Everybody all over the world can look at that blockchain and say the U.S. government
exposed
sent
on a
money
mass level
to this man's wallet.
Yep.
Where did the money go and what was it being used for? We don't need any. This is peaceful revolution, guys. Peaceful revolution.
That's the key word.
It's all about money. And it is a spiritual thing. The entire thing. Sovereignty.
Sure.
There is no war.
Birthright.
There is no war in what we're talking about. There is no, going against the state or any of that crap. No. It's just existing and participating in the new thing because, blockchain is coming. The Bible already tells us.
Sure.
What faction are you going to be a part of? And nothing is ever set in stone. I said this before COVIDs, that, look, this is the plan. This is what's going to happen. However, we all have a choice. You can either go this way, like they think it's going to go, which I'm sure they have a lot of metrics that say that people are stupid. Public education. Whatever. They have a lot of metrics that say that that's the way that it's going to go. But it's up to you to make the difference. It's up to individual people, and it only takes like a couple of % of people to really shift the entire thing. And if it shifts in a country, you have revolution, and all they have is the worldwide media to try and make believe that this is not happening, which is what we hear about places like Australia, we're just going to make believe they're not rioting, and we're going to make believe in Europe they're not rioting. We're going to make believe that that's not
In the
happening.
millions, right?
Right. They're going to make believe, and it's all bullshit.
Smoke and mirrors.
The point being is that you don't have to do anything. You don't want to go and go riot in the streets. You want to go do any of that, just don't do it.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't mind if you egg the cops' house, but hey, that's up to you. I would say just buy a little Bitcoin just as a solidarity support of what the idea is behind it is to take, because if you don't own the money, your labor is not owned by you. Do you understand? It's a very some would say libertarian, but it's just a basic right of people is that you own the energy and you own your own labor. You own your sovereignty and what you do with it. Well, if your sovereignty and your rights and your everything is gauged by dollars is fiat. Fiat means that somebody decides how much that's worth. You're not sovereign anymore. You have a king. You have somebody else.
Right.
Bitcoin takes that away, guys.
Yep.
Completely takes it away.
And even if Bitcoin information against it,
even if Bitcoin goes down to being worth a penny, right now it's like 45,000 or something like that. If it goes down to being worth a penny, guess what? Even if you have a little bit of a Bitcoin, you still have more money than if you were a trillionaire in Federal Reserve notes, because trillions mean nothing in Federal Reserve. They print them
ones and zeros.
Nothing. Ones and zeros. There is nothing backing them. People say, what is backing Bitcoin? The algorithm backs Bitcoin. The algorithm backs Bitcoin.
There's actually
the miners.
People involved. That's right. That's right.
We talk about what your labor is worth. It's about energy. And people say that, oh, the Bitcoin's bad for the Mother Earth. Well, is it? Bitcoin doesn't use as much energy as Christmas lights. It doesn't really matter. But I'd like to think that my energy is worth as much as Mother Earth's. I'm not a for the greater good guy. Oh, it's for the greater good. Okay, take your shot. Max. Take your shot. Let me get my 45 out. Here, you want to duck down so I can pop one in the back of your head?
Wait a minute. I thought you went 10 millimeter.
45, dude. I'm not gonna dick around with your crap. You and your 9 millimeters and your Glocks and shit. What are you?
H&Ks, get it right.
What are you, pansy? Anyways.
Easy.
Damn. His little boy guns.
H&K is a boy's gun. Do some research when we get off this stream and then get back with me. Chump. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm the gun guy, trust me.
So anyways,
I'll forgive you. Go ahead.
As we get into like the revolution thing and thinking about what's going on with your money, and people, it's very natural to get pissed off that you're getting robbed. This is the entire system. We talk about the beast system. People want to talk about Bitcoin and we talk about cryptocurrency being the beast system. Do you not understand? You have been in the beast system since you've been born. Everybody who has been listening to me has been in the beast system since they've been born. You are participating in the beast system right now. The only way to get out of the beast system is to do something different. Okay?
Yep.
And that's just all there is to it. Now, it just so happens you can make a fuck ton of money doing that. And whatever. Y'all just do what you're going to do. But the reason that I got into it and the reason I went forward with it is because I understand what a powerful thing it could be for strong people if it caught on, and how it goes is that this is going to be the way that it is. And nobody, even if, I'm a poor ass dude, but nobody is going to take my money. Nobody. Not my wife, not my parents, not anybody. And it's all in my brain. So obviously I did get ripped off for a bunch of money, but that was a different thing. We're protecting against that now. But
Right.
the government cannot. And that's the biggest problem here.
Right.
The biggest enemy and the biggest um, things that people have to worry about is, of course, Satan. Well, Satan runs all the governments.
Absolutely.
That's Satan
Well
runs
known fact.
all of them.
Scripture.
And the Roman Catholic Church, kind of semi quasi, runs all the stuff. How do you protect yourself from that? Well, what's their primarily? How do they do what they do? They do it all through fiat garbage currency.
Yep.
And, for a long time, fiat currency was just fine. As long as everybody agrees that $100 is worth $100, everything is fine. But then as soon as somebody wants to go to war and they don't have enough money to go to war, aka Vietnam, then they come out with resolutions to say we can just print more and more and more and more. And if you just so happen to be the greatest superpower on earth, you can just keep doing that. And as long as you take all those phony magic monies and keep putting them into your military, then you have a big enough military to take over the world so no one's going to challenge you. And that's the way America is. Just a big bunch of fucking bullies, the biggest pieces of trash on the fucking planet. America is not a Christian nation. America is a satanic nation. This is fucking Babylon. This is the war. This is bad, bad, bad. Everything this government is doing is horrible. It wasn't 20 years ago. It wasn't much better. Right about them Clinton time. That was when it all got crazy. But just pointing out that is the United States government is going to point and say, North Korea, they're the bad guys. They're the bad guys. They're going to say, China, they spy on other people. China's bad. And they're going to say,
look over there.
Putin,
Don't worry about here.
That Putin, he does kung fu. That Putin, I don't like the Putin.
Misdirection.
The reality is the number one threat to your life is your own government, and it is the United States of America. The number one threat to, I would say, everybody's life on the planet right now, or the flat earth, whatever you want to say, is the United States government. This is the shithole, armpit, dystopian, whatever, of the entire world. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to go out there and go rally in the street? How many retarded, fluoridated people are going to go out there with you? Nobody. What are you going to do? The only thing you can do to fight the system is understand how they got the power in the first place, which was in completely by fiat currency and the dollar.
Yep.
So you fight the dollar. So go out and go fight the dollar.
That's true.
I don't know. I should probably look at chat. There's probably somebody called me an asshole. Oh yeah, not safe for work or something like that. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm not in the mood to do really deep in-depth studies on things or whatever, at least for at this particular time. This is more
discrimination. Bottom line, you can either get a lawyer, file the proper paperwork, do the research. You can either choose to stay employed in a place like that, the way I kind of handled my situation a few months ago, and kind of tell yourself like I did, and everybody's different, that's fine. We all have to work,
Yeah.
We got mouths to feed, we got bills to pay. That's the system. You either choose that or move on. Trust in the Lord either way. Pick and choose your battles wisely. And Josh, yeah, H&K 433, yep. Man, what taste. I hear you, Josh. But no, seriously, pick and choose your battles. All the information you need is online, but it comes down to a simple no thank you. You really need nothing else than that. Because laws are specific. We're a nation either of laws or we're not. not a science or pseudoscience. So you stand on your principle and you go from there. If you have to sue, do that. Millions of cases be backed up for years. Just saying. It's interesting, but take it to prayer just like everything else.
Well, I guess I'm way behind. Preppy Mama says, never witnessed. Oh, Preppy Mama, I hope your situation we're going through ended okay. I know what you're doing, kind of hanging out. I think it's funny that people like, she had to, she was trying to find some spiritual enlightenment a little bit while she was kind of, just kind of sitting and waiting. And she got some entertainment out of me and what we're doing here, Jack. And that's pretty cool. And that's why my channel is never going to get deleted by me or be going away anywhere, is because, occasionally there's some people who will just go and listen to the entire thing. And, it's all cool. And I hope all that worked out well for you, or I don't know about that. I mean, well as it could have been.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And it's great that you're out there serving the public and doing what you're doing, because I don't have the energy for it anymore. I'm just going to tell you, a few years ago I had all these things going and all this other stuff, and I'm losing down. My strength is waning, which is why we have to pick up other people to take our place.
Yep. Pass the baton. I mean, I'm not done.
I'm
but
past
my
I know you're
capacity
past
is
your
diminished.
prime. I know you're past.
Oh yeah, mentally and physically. That's
Especially
why I
the
pray to
money.
have it renewed every day. Yeah, it's been rough, man. It's been rough. I'm no longer the man I was just a few years ago. I know that.
Bridget Lawson says, getting ready to push the jab at my work. It says I have to pay for the test. We will have to pay for the test.
You don't have to do that either.
Bridget, I'm just going to say, I've been saying this for years now at this point. It's sad, isn't it? It's not new, okay? The information is out there for people. Everything in this world, government, corporations, everything revolves around money.
Period.
Everything. And everything requires you to give consent. Everything. There is no exception. So if you did not have to take a jab when you gave the consent to give a job, you don't have to take a jab right now. And they can fight that, and they can be pissy and give you a hard time, and they can do all this and do all that. Legally, they can't do shit to you.
Yeah, it's in the courts now. There's nothing they can do, and they know that.
All anybody has to do. Now, we're dealing with back to the person, and we're dealing back to the whatever, we're dealing with admiralty law. We're dealing with corporations. You understand that you yourself, you might think of yourself as I'm a living, breathing woman. No, you're not. You're a corporation. You're a stack of papers as far as the state is concerned. So now that you know that you're a stack of papers, as far as, you're no different than Google. Okay. You are Google as far as the state looks at you. So when an entity tells you you need to do something and you need to pay for it and you need to do this and you need to do that, you do what a corporation would do, and you say, what are you going to pay me for? And that's it.
Yeah, that's where the contract comes out.
And
except
you want to go into like legal, the basics behind the legalese of it is you cannot be a slave. The freaking everything in the world in every country says people cannot make you do something you don't want to do without paying you, and you have to agree to it. It's a basic law, and it's not just a government law. It's a law written down by God.
Yep.
And you cannot break God's laws. You have to accept the bullshit. You have to accept the potato in the anus. You have to accept getting bent over. You have to accept all these things. You have to choose it. But if you choose not to do it, there isn't much of anything you can do. They can fire you, and then you go to court and go, yeah, well, this is my rights. And then they have to let you go. I mean, that's the thing. It's like people have to fight. This is not going to be an easy thing. I mean, the entire thing is funded by the Federal Reserve. The entire thing is funded by phony made up money that does nothing. I mean, it's out of thin air. You think it's just going to go away? Do you think your tax dollars actually pay for things? It's all bullshit, guys. It's just going to keep going until people change their minds and start putting up a little bit of fight. So that's all there is to that. Now, I'm going to be in this situation, I'm sure. Okay. I put up a pretty good fight when I started my job, so I didn't have to really worry about it, but I will be, because I'm going to have to get another job. It's like, you want me to take a jab, or you want me to put a mask on, you want me to do whatever. I say, I will do whatever you ask of me, provided your company takes liability
for your health.
I don't care about whatever you want to add. Right. You take liability for all and any damages as a result of your recommendation. And then you leave a line for them to sign. And there is nobody in the company who can sign because nobody owns the company.
I did the same thing. They just looked at me.
Nobody owns the company. It has to go all the way up to the board of directors. You have to have just about every board of directors sign off on it that they will take personal liability for it. How far do you think that letter is going to go? It's going to stop at some middle manager, at which point you either have a choice where you can sue the company or you can just go to unemployment. And what the judge going to say when the company tries to say anything to you? What's the judge going to say? Work through the scenario in your mind, people. This company fired me because they would not take liability for my injuries working at the company. Did you guys hear that? You're going to go in front of a judge, and the company is there, and you're going to say, this company fired me because they would not take liability for my injuries received on the job.
And that's illegal. Yeah,
100% illegal.
Right.
10th Amendment, guys. Slavery, guys. Slavery.
Yeah.
It's a huge federal crime. And the Supreme Courts have all thrown out everything having to do with COVIDs. Okay? The media does not tell you about this stuff. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. Doesn't matter what's going on in some state, in some city. What got overthrown by, we're really having a fight up here. Supreme Court Justice, blah, 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 is doing this. It doesn't freaking matter. God says you cannot make somebody a slave. God says you cannot do that. Therefore, it will never happen. So if you're afraid about what somebody is going to do to you should you not do something, you just tell them, you pay for it. You pay for any damages that I might have. And they won't.
No, of course they're not going to accept that amount of liability. They can't. They know they can't. Let's call them a bluff, you know?
It's not just calling a bluff. It's destroying their entire narrative. Because the people who are trying to force that shit down your throat are the same people who know that it's bullshit. They know that it's stupid. They're just getting... They are just getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from the federal government printed up out of nowhere. Remember, nobody's labor actually produced that money. It just was printed out of nowhere to try and enslave you.
The free thinking people.
They're enslaving you with money out
because you're allowing it.
Because you're allowing it. Which is why I don't have a tremendous compulsion to go out there and go talk to people, because most people are fucking retards. And I'm sorry to say, obviously the people who are here, who are coming down, it's obviously close to midnight. People who understand, Max is going to be off the rails and, whatever. all four of you out there, I'm not talking to you, but you know who I'm talking about. You know damn well who I'm talking about.
Sure.
Okay.
The masses in general.
You being mad at me because I say it. No, no, no. There are a lot of dumb retards out there. Oh, I'm just doing my job. Man. And I don't know how much of that is to blame on people's personal choices. A lot of it has to do with,
Well, willful ignorance at this point to me
man,
is
I
way
don't
beyond
believe,
any kind of
I
an
do not,
excuse.
there is no such thing as willful ignorance. Not with the internet. There is no such thing.
That's my point. I get it. That's why I'm so burnt out and fried about this whole situation, just like you, Max. You know, again, that's where
Here's
God's
the,
grace comes in with an individual. But as far as me, I'm only willing to have that conversation if somebody wants to have it at this point.
well,
And that is
here's the,
far and few between, unfortunately.
here's what's got me down. And, I'll go through chat and we'll look at what some comments are, maybe refer to that. Here's what's got me down. And I want to be an uplifting stream. Otherwise I don't even want to stream. I know sometimes I do it for my entertainment or whatever, but I like to do something positive and explore some things as to moving in a correct direction and all of that. I want to talk about everybody, regardless of your level of your wokeness and whatever about people, and judging people as to their situation, as to their COVID weakness or their COVID not weakness, whatever. You have to understand that the people that are really, really awake absolutely hate people that aren't. And it's not because they're bad people or anything. It's
No,
because
it's just you're so far removed
you're,
from reality of the people's
well,
perception.
no, it has to do
of
with
what's going on.
fear. It has to do with
That's
fear.
it. Bottom line, that's it. Sure, that's the end result.
Because you got someone like me or anybody else who has a similar wokeness, who understands the whole thing is stupid, and you have to take your car off to the muffler shop to get a muffler put on, and you got some retard there with his little jab vax bandana on his shoulder going, I'm gonna take care of your car. I'm supposed to trust my life to this guy? Or you go off to the grocery store and you go to the meat market and you want to get a slab of meat, and that guy's got his little jab on, I'm gonna cut your meat for you. I'm like, you're too retarded to even understand what the hell is going on this planet. How can I expect you to cut meat? And that's the sad fact, is that obviously they can do their job. Obviously they can. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh shit, this guy's retarded. And it's the point where you cannot relate to anybody anywhere.
Now
which
that
is why
I can
we have
relate to.
which is why we have the internet and why we have what we have.
Right.
And it sucks, man. It sucks.
It does. To have
live
new
in it.
eyes, to have discernment about this world, it's like, from my perspective, just my path, it's like, man, that's why I stay by myself a lot. It's just I can't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, well, I may as well be. I'm in a little tiny town where there's nothing going on after 5 o'clock. So
Yeah,
that's
that's pretty much where I'm
just,
at.
I thought it was particular to where I lived, and I think they put something in the water here.
No.
Well, obviously they put fluoride, but this is where's my tinfoil hat?
Well,
Conspiracy
you told me
idea.
about that installation that y'all have kind of local, right?
Well,
Kind of government activity.
we had a special George Floyd rally here. And some other things that were like, wow, this is very CIA, and there's a whole lot of other things too.
Sure.
But people here are just so fucking stupid. And
Montauk
sorry for
program.
anybody who might be listening to me in this town, but you all are fucking dumb. And it's like it's really weird going to a job, especially a really low level job, I think my title is assistant crack whore, and you got a little job like that, and nobody wants to talk at all. Like you don't have like conversations about like what television shows you watch or what football games. It's all about nobody says anything, and they all just automaton go around and doing their job, and it's really freaking weird. It's like a bunch of robots and stuff.
It is. Yeah.
And
it's strange.
it's I've never experienced that before. It
Me either. Not on this scale. Because people that has taken this crap, they're different. They are
I don't
different.
know.
There's something off, man. You know, that's been my perception of it anyway. That's what I see a lot. It's
I would
strange.
just say
It's hard to
people that
explain.
people that take the stuff are retarded, but that's just me.
I think there's a little extra additive to it. Retarded plus,
Nah, I
maybe.
don't know. I
You
mean,
know.
not everyone I work with is all jabbed up. A lot of people, most of the people that I work with don't want to wear the mask. They all have to, and they all just do it.
Yeah, compliance,
But
mass
the
compliance.
thing is that none of them have regular conversations and normal conversations and
No,
interact with each other like normal people.
I don't get that from anybody. Just
The o-
people online. That's it. People out in the real world look at me and they're
I'm
like,
going to get a
"What
lot of
the?"
trouble with people who actually know me in real life. Everybody in my town is an asshole, except people who weren't born here. And I can
Wait a
tell
minute.
right off the bat when I talk to people.
You wasn't born there, right?
I was
You're
born
one
in
of 'em.
Minnesota.
Yeah, but you're one of them, so you fit right in.
No, I moved here.
That's not what I'm saying, but go ahead.
Anyways,
You're
I go here and I talk to
kidding, man.
people, and like the people that I work with and the people I said to myself when I, you know,
Yeah,
if I didn't get robbed, I said I'd hire that person. I'd hire that person. These are the
right.
people that I want on my team. I'm already looking forward to like building my enterprise and building knowing exactly what I want these people to do. Hiring this person, I'm hiring this person.
Hey, Max, real quick, your mic apparently dropped out. It got real low for a minute.
Yeah, well, that
There you go.
better.
Yeah, thanks, man. My ears are bleeding. There you go.
So, anyways, as I'm talking to people, there are people that I would, out of everybody, there's 150 people or something that work at Coborn's. And I'm like, well, there's like 2 people, 3 people I would hire personally. And I was looking at that as to like, I'd want you to do that. I want you to do that. And I could pay them more, like legit. And I'm
Sure.
like, oh, okay, do this, do this, do this. And as I'm talking to them, they're the only people who had any conversations, and the only sparkle out of all these people, the only ones with fucking twinkles in their eyes. And
You had life in them.
I talk to them and I go, "You're not from around here, are you?" And like, "Oh no, I'm from Arizona."
Yeah, there you go.
No shit.
Interesting.
Oh no, I'm from Iowa. Oh no, I'm from South Dakota.
Yeah, different
Like,
additive in the water, like
how
you
the hell
say.
did
I
you
don't
end up
know.
in Glencoe? And they're like, "I don't know, but I'm gonna get the hell out of here as soon as I can." Every single person who has
Wow.
any sort of brain cell is not from here. That has to mean that they're poisoning the water. There is no
Let me ask you this:
question.
how much of aerosols go in the skies above y'all?
Nothing.
Really?
Nope.
That's pretty wild.
Nothing.
Hmm.
All we have is smart meters, and those just went in last year. So no,
Right.
it's they've been putting it in the water, and that's the only reason that I can think of that. Because I've been to other small towns, and people are kind of slow, but people will actually have a conversation with you, right?
Well, that's
You know, and like
sure.
it's just really strange for me because I've done the same job that I'm doing when I was like 15, working in a restaurant, and people had conversations. It wasn't all
Yeah,
business all
yeah. I
the
remember
time.
more of my
I'm
life
super
back in the
serious
day.
about my $10 an hour job. I gotta put the tags on, and I gotta do this and make sure that it's right. I don't have time to talk about what was on television. I have to do the tag. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Dude.
back in the day when everybody could actually get along, even though we disagreed, and people had a sense of humor about things.
Well,
You know, people it was just a
you want to
different
get into
world, man.
you want to get into how racist you are and everything. I don't think we should talk about that.
Max, what?
You're the one who brought up that.
What?
No,
Excuse
I'm just
me?
kidding.
Yeah, you better be. You know me
Well,
better than that.
No, you're talking about how everyone got into the races and now we have to divide.
What?
Yeah, we
Who
gotta
you getting me
separate.
confused
We
with,
gotta
man? Are you
separate
okay
out
tonight?
them. We gotta separate
Dude.
out them color people.
Dude. Tell him you're kidding. Quickly.
No, oh, I hit a button.
Yeah,
back in
that's
the-
not funny to me. I don't play that
You know
game.
what?
You know,
You know
do I
what it was back in the day? I tell you truthfully how it is. Back in the day,
Damn, man.
what was it, 1992? 1992 in high school, like 10th grade.
Damn, I've been working security for a year.
Yeah, the old Clinton administration and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the whitest county in Minnesota. Okay, which was saying something because most counties are pretty white in Minnesota. We're like 99.9. And
Sure.
hey, by a stroke of luck, we also happen to be the richest. I wonder how that. Oh, that's racist to say that white people have
it's
money.
demographics.
Yeah, why do white people have more money than other people? Probably because something they're doing in business. Maybe. Why do Jews have more money than everybody else? Probably has something to do with business. Probably.
Maybe a little.
Maybe. Anyways, they were doing this big thing where they're shipping in a lot of people from all over different countries in Africa, and they're shipping a lot of people from Korea, and just immigrants galore. Federal government's giving us money. Oh, yeah, let's bring in all the immigrants we possibly can. And there's nothing wrong with people of different color. I mean, no one really cares about that. It's just the problem.
We're people of color.
with
That's what I try to explain to people.
I'm
It's
literally,
melanin.
People in this country are literally paying to bring people from these shithole armpit company to bring these kids over here to take your jobs. You're paying to do that, and it's not cheap. Because you think about, like, if you want to go live in another country, it's going to cost you $10,000-$15,000 to move your shit over there
Sure.
and go do whatever you're going to do.
Sure.
Well, if you're talking about like bringing in refugees, you're talking like $2 million a pop, and you're bringing in 100 million refugees every year. I mean, it's tremendous amount of money because the government wastes all the money.
Part of the plan. Sure.
Right, and it's fine, whatever. But I'm growing up in this thing where I'm like being told in school that racism is the thing. And I'm like, I've never encountered a black person. Why would I think that the black person is any different than me? I wouldn't. They're telling me I'm bad because I'm a white man,
sure,
having never encountered a black person in my entire life. But I am a bad person because I am white. They're telling me that in school.
Sure.
And then I finally encountered
You're
a black
privileged.
person.
Didn't you know it?
And of course, there's the movies and all that stuff about black people and all those things back in the day, and gangster rap and all that. And I finally encountered a black person, and they're the most timid motherfuckers you can ever look at. I mean, they're little children, and no offense,
careful,
to black people nowadays, because I don't know. I'm saying in 1992, black people back then were all fronting. They were all pretending to be Snoop Dogg, who himself, Snoop Dogg, was pretending to be a gangster. I mean, it's all just BS. You go to jail, they're all pretending to be really, really hard. Yep. But then as soon as they don't have four of their buddies around, they're not very tough.
You got it.
And they're just like everybody else, which shows you that these are people who are sensitive individuals who are very, fearful, and they're very scared. And that's why they need collectivism with the people around them. And that's all there is to it. And we to hate somebody because of their skin color, that is the most retarded thing
yes, it is.
I've ever heard of in my life.
Never understood that.
Can you categorize somebody based on the way they behave? Absolutely.
Yep. Goes by
and it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, whatever.
Absolutely.
But I was told I was a racist from a very young age. Well, I tell you that all these hard nut gangster people who failed out of their Minneapolis schools, they went to Stillwater. They had this program where they'd drug a half dozen of them over to Stillwater to try and integrate them with our school. Those guys
Right.
lasted about 2 hours. They
Similar
all left
program back in the day.
because
Yeah, I
all
remember.
them hard ass guys. They couldn't handle the 6'5" corn husking
Oh yeah,
dudes in
country
Stillwater.
boys. Right.
Man, there are some big, huge dudes in Stillwater. All that HGH, they had HGH back in their milk back in the 90s. I wasn't a
Yep.
big milk drinker, but I know why guys are 6'5" now. It's because of HGH. There isn't any other explanation for it. Like everybody else is like 5'9"
Growth
to
hormone.
6'1". Yeah. Everybody else is 5'9" to 6'1". And then you got some dudes who are 6'5", 6'6". Like, where did these guys come from? Because
Yeah,
you
I
go
grew up
back
with
in
a
like
couple.
the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, these guys
Yeah,
aren't around.
Normal.
Heavyweight boxers, star athletes, nobody
Right.
is that big. Nowadays, you can go down to the grocery store and you'll see a dude walking around 6'5", like nothing. Yeah. Anyway,
It's the Nephilim.
now with these people, they're all two tags. They're all they don't get it.
All right. On to the next segue.
Yeah, enough ranting about tall people.
Throw it out there, man. What's up?
I don't know. You've been watching chat. I've been talking.
The Healthy American is somebody to go to. Some very valuable information. Bridget, I don't know if you know about her. She's really good. If you go to my channel, I actually got a lot of playlists about a lot of her work. It's real simple. Super intelligent woman, good Christian lady. But man, she goes after them tooth and nail, and she finds every loophole, and it's real simple. Like I say, at the end of the day, it comes down to personal autonomy. It's a God-given protection. It's your God-given right, not man's. And like Max said, they all know this. You know, they're not taking anything away. They can't. It's the individual giving up. That's the difference.
You may not understand this, but the government is afraid of God too. The
Yes,
government is
sir.
run by Satan.
Yep.
And just because like you're in a situation and your boss or your low-level manager or your jail guard or prison guard
Mine was
doesn't
real low level.
understand, just because they don't understand that doesn't mean that it's not true.
Exactly.
You go up above that level and you go up to where the shit is. There is
Different
universal
story.
truths. There is
Right.
universal truths to everything. People
Yep.
cannot make you a slave. You need to agree to do whatever.
Yep. Has to be voluntary. Absolutely.
And it doesn't really matter what country you're in. All those people who are supposedly slaves in North Korea, supposedly slaves in China, well, they must have agreed to it at some point in order to do that. All right. Otherwise,
People
God would
learn
not
to love
allow
the servitude.
God would not allow it to happen otherwise. There are certain things that you cannot do. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a problem with Sodom and Gomorrah. You wouldn't have a problem with all these things. Why does
That's
God
right.
allow this to happen? Why does God allow that to happen? Because people chose it.
Yep.
The Jews did not choose to be in prison for all that time, which is that I got broken out. And it didn't matter what you did, the Jews were not going to be enslaved anymore. It didn't matter. You make up anything. It's just not going to happen because God controls everything.
Yep. Fact.
And this goes back to faith. And if you disbelieve that fact, then you are calling God a liar.
Period. Absolutely.
The biggest problem that I have with all the people who want to talk about saved by works and saved by this and saved by that, Robert Breaker, all these guys, you're calling God a liar, and nobody will ever cop to that. If you're saying I can be born into slavery without my choosing, without my own will, you're saying that God forces me to be a slave for somebody else. You're giving me no direction over my own life. You're giving me nothing. That's nothing on what the Bible teaches.
Right.
And if you believe
There's
that,
a difference in indentured servitude. In what
and you're going to
talking
blame
about.
God for your situation in life, then you're calling God a liar.
Yeah, essentially. That's true. That is true, Max.
And it is true, I will say, that a lot of people are bamboozled, a lot of people are mind controlled, a lot of people are basically out of ignorance not given a choice to do what the things that they're doing, and they are not held accountable for those choices. But the people that are watching me are not those people. We don't have to talk about that. Okay?
Yeah.
People who understand what the hell is going on. And people out of ignorance are doing a lot of things, but I'm kind of getting into the mindset of the people who are vaccinating their children right now, knowing that children aren't dying of COVID, knowing that none of the masks make any difference, and knowing all of these things that are pure hard fact according to the actual official things that are put out. I think that those people understand that they're going to die at a subconscious level, and they have already given over, and they just want to get it done with. And that's what I kind of think
Passing their
about.
children through the fire, so to speak.
No, I think they just want to check out, and
I
more
think there's
power
some
to them.
truth to that. I
More
really do.
power to them. It's the only rational explanation you have for why somebody would do that. And the world is not rational, and trying to make
No.
sense of the world will make you crazy.
Yeah.
And
been
there's
down
no
that
point
road.
to it. Don't ever try to make sense of the world, ever.
Yeah.
There's no point to it.
Yeah.
And just understand what truth is. Did several shows on truth. Okay, how to understand the truth and know what truth is, and how to apply truth to your life every single day, and every single thing you look at, every single article you read, every single video you watch. How to apply truth to it. And if you don't
And
have
that can
truth,
definitely put you in a position to protect oneself from all the, Satan's wiles of the world. We know that.
yeah,
Those fiery darts, that the Lord talks about. Put on the full armor.
if you don't have truth, there's no point in even going.
You got it. Amen.
There's no point in even continuing on having this narrative. It's go back, watch football, play video games, and forget about the world. Go to your 9 to 5, or go to your probably 6 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. job for $8 an hour, and do that. As you try and
I'll
pay
probably
for your
be doing that for a while.
as you try and pay for your $350,000 mortgage. Go do that.
It's crazy.
That's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
And
That's why I live in a tiny house and live simple.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need the things of the world anymore. I don't care about it. I hadn't in a while. The Lord changed me in a lot of ways, man. I see life, and we've covered this many a time.
Well, I gotta have my Buick in my.
I told you I upgraded to a Toyota, man. I got some sense.
Toyota with them Chinese people.
Some of the best cars ever made.
No Japanese people.
Let's get back to the point of the pre-show. Part of the discussion that we were talking about. Why are we here?
Oh, we're gonna go back to that.
Yeah, without getting too deep or philosophical, it's what Scripture says.
Why am I here?
Just people in
beaten
general.
down and whatever.
Raked over the coal.
Everyone,
Repeatedly.
no matter, I could go around all day kissing babies, and if I was a billionaire, I could give thousands of dollars to everybody, and everyone would still call me an asshole. So that's where I am, and
Yeah, it can make your life
It's
easier,
not-
sure. I'm
it
not
doesn't
gonna lie
even
about
bother
that.
me at this point. I've been
Sure.
going through that for 20 years, and it's not like I haven't done my things to make it worthwhile that everyone can always
Right.
point to and say,
Sure.
"You're a bad man." I'm like, who have I killed? Who have I hurt? Who have I what? I hurt people's feelings. Is that it?
Yeah, if that's all they've got at the end of the day. It's sad.
I'm sure they have more than that. I'm sure I did some really dumb stuff too, but it's like
We all have.
I hurt.
I mean, we all have, man. Come on.
No, I mean I'm just trying to think of like the level of 30 years of complete by my own parents, mind you, 30 years of complete you're a worthless human being. I'm like, what the fuck would I have to do to even warrant that? And I couldn't come up with anything. And once I couldn't come up with anything, I realized that it was just total bullshit, and it was some mind game that these people are fucked up in the
That's
head.
it. That's it.
And then I figure out that they're boomers, and they're really, they're really got, as I examine it, and
Self-centered.
people
You
think that
know.
people, of course, are going to go right back to like, well, you just don't like them. And it's like, no, I love my mom. And I never really had a problem with her until after she died. And when I looked at how she lived her life and how she treated me, how she treated my brothers, and what she actually, her legacy of what she left behind and all that stuff, I go, wow, she was a selfish cunt. And she deserved everything she got. And she was a terrible human being. And some people just can't handle that. But you know what? She lived to be 68 years old, and she was rich for about 40 years of that. So
Wow.
she lived a good life. Died of the old pancreatic cancer, didn't have any pain, didn't have anything, And she wouldn't leave a nickel for inheritance. Okay. So
Yeah.
whatever.
It's a
She
shame.
abandoned me when I was like 1, 2, whatever,
Oh, you were that young?
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And it's selfish, nihilistic boomers. But for my entire life, I was the bad boy. I was the bad one. I was always bad. I'm bad, 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 bad. Never had a mother ever. Never had a father who cared about me or ever even talked to me or anything. He told me how to fix an engine. Okay, dude drank a case of beer a day too. So that's
Yeah.
my upbringing.
Nurture and nature. Huh?
So this chick, what is her justification for saying that I'm a bad child? Her justification is she can't stand the fact that she left me there in that freaking situation. She feels guilty about it and can't stand to see me, and she's pushing me away.
Yep.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I understand. Yep.
So
Very
naturally,
conscious.
when you have like 5 years, whatever, as soon as I get in trouble, it's like, that's why you're always the bad one. 10 years go by. You get in a mild, you have a traffic ticket. Oh, you're the bad one,
Yeah,
That's just
we talked about
all
that
it
a while
is.
ago too. Yeah, same for me
And
in a lot of respects.
as you go on to it, that's just how women are.
I'm just
You
gonna
know, it
hold
doesn't
that over
matter.
your head
It
the
doesn't
rest of your
matter if you're
life.
65 years old or you're
Nope.
15 years old. All women think the same. We're gonna project, and I have emotional trauma. I have no outlet for my trauma, and so I'm gonna harm the people that are most closest to me because that's what women do. They harm the people that are closest to them, and then they cry about being a
Well,
victim.
look, the manipulated environment from the government has affected everyone. You know, men are not exclusive to
But
that.
government is daddy.
Sure, that's not what
We
I'm
don't have
saying.
husbands anymore, and we don't have
But
fathers
look,
anymore.
they've been
Government is
conditioned
daddy.
through television, magazines, and everything else to live up to this person or that standard or whatever. Or I'm the victim, and
Oh,
somebody
please.
owes me something. Men are just crap. Family structure doesn't mean anything. I mean, fourth wave feminism. We can go on and on and on, but it's like it's all designed to corrupt the minds. This whole system is. We know that. So what are we going to do about it? Pray. He says, pray without ceasing. That's where I've been at for a while. So I have to. I'm going through my own hell. But I know he said he would never leave me nor forsake me. That is where I find my comfort. Because Miss Lawson just put it right on. This world has nothing to offer me. It's sick. Yes, it is. And the Lord said that these days would become worse than the days of Lot or Noah. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And this is just getting warmed up. This is barely scratching the surface. But I fear no system. I don't fear this man. None of it. Because like Max, I've studied this stuff all my life. Nothing's a surprise to me at this point. Nothing. So I know what's coming. The Lord's prepared us for it. Hang in there. Because we are here to do a mission for the betterment of His kingdom. I'm not trying to build one here.
Yeah,
I've got
well,
one in the
what's
other
left
life.
of that kingdom right now, man?
Let's see.
we got,
Let me send
we
you
got
some
like
more
5.
photos of this, 30?
We got like 5, 6 people, something like that.
I don't even know. We got a few.
5
Your
or 6 people.
your forthrightness might have run off a few.
Yeah, good.
That's fine. You don't know how many people's actually going to watch this eventually. That's the whole point, man. Letting people know we're just real people. We're frustrated, just like everyone else. And the only answers that we need to really seek is that it is written in God's Word. That's it, man. You know, that's it. I'm out of a job. My mother's dying. My health is terrible. And I'm like, For quite a while, I sit and it was like, okay, do I bask in this poor, pitiful me? We all can get there because we only know our own perspective. It's hard to step outside that. You know, and
Point
that's
being, it,
psychology. But look, we're going to suffer here. And I always go back to that. But I had to relearn what that meant years ago because I was caught up in that prosperity bullshit, excuse my language, for a long
people
time. And that
people
does a
use
lot of damage. Go ahead, man.
people use that you're going to suffer here as being the victim. Like I am a righteous martyr because I'm suffering. It's like, well,
I'm not
everybody's
talking Brian Dunlinger level, no. I'm talking about just blanket statement. I don't care what
everybody.
your walk is, what you're doing. If you can find peace and happiness in that, our peace is supposed to be found in Christ. That's our rest, period, for what he did for us at Calvary. We know that essentially. That's the basics. Okay, in the material, we have to work. You need hobbies. We have freedom in Christ. I'm not a legalist because I've been down that road too. And I was the most miserable bastard you ever knew.
Yeah, I knew
It was
you back when you used to wear like different colored kinds of cloth. And I'm like, no, you have to wear
the
one type of
burlap.
cloth.
It was the burlap phase, man. I couldn't help it.
You didn't have the cord around your waist. I was really
Yeah,
disappointed.
I thought I put up pictures on that. You didn't see those?
No.
Yeah, I had the prayer beads, you know, shaved my head bald. I was out in the woods for about a month.
No. You sound like my brother's kids.
One with nature like Brian, you know, but I
A
wasn't,
bunch
you
of
know.
bunch of atheists pretending to be religious.
That's it, man. Sad but true.
I shaved my head. Can I go to heaven now? Kids have no idea who God is. Oh,
Yep.
I got a shaved head though. I look stupid. Oh, mom says I'm good.
Man, I shaved my head one time years ago, and I'll be honest with you, I look like an extra from Mad Max.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with
Terrible.
shaving your head. It's just the point. Is like they shaved
No, it's the intent, you know.
people who aren't familiar with Buddhism. They shave little girls' heads when they're like 4 years old
Yep.
and make them all look like little boys. And it's like, what?
What are you doing?
The only thing that I think to my head is like, oh, so the priest can sodomize the children and they all look like boys. I gotcha. And which is a very bad thing for me to think, but you look it up on the Google and you find
Well,
out
there's a
that
lot
that's
of truth to
true.
that, right?
Exactly. You find out that that's
Yep.
a horrible, and incest is a big problem. And it's like, so you Buddhists there, you don't have much for morals, do you? Oh, we all believe in atheism. And it's like, yeah, okay. We all believe in, we'll come back as a cockroach.
Could I
And
ask
it's like,
something?
yeah, okay. So you don't have any moral fiber at all whatsoever. All
No,
right.
they believe in the ascended masters.
And
Look, a good friend of mine is one. He's just not a practicing one. I'll put it that way. You know, he's into the yoga and the exercise and all that. But as far as study, no, he's a super genius guy. But it's like we've had a couple conversations, and it's interesting. His bumper sticker for years was "What would Buddha do?" You know, so it's he was one of them for a while. I don't know.
probably
Some
sit
people,
there.
huh?
Probably sit there.
Yeah, because he did absolutely nothing for people.
I didn't
So,
see the monks do anything either,
yep.
except sweep the floors, wait
Yeah.
for donations.
Like the Pentecost tried to rob my mother a couple of years
They didn't
back,
want to
but I
talk to
told you about
me.
that. I wonder why.
Man, I was at one point going over there. They had the monks actually over there.
Yeah.
And I was talking to them. They didn't want to talk to me. I'm like,
Yeah, because
so
you're
tell
full
me
of
about this
heresy.
Buddha. They didn't want to talk. It's like, isn't that your thing? You don't tell people about your religion. It's a secret club. I don't know. Maybe
Strange.
maybe they already knew I was a bad man for my mother, something like that. But they don't want to talk.
Sins
They
of
don't
the
want to talk
mother.
anything with me. That's why I really love the Seventh-day Adventists. They show up here every so often, and they'll talk to me all afternoon.
Yeah, they will. They'll carry on the conversation. They're
Yeah,
another hard
because
nut
they're
to
not
crack.
full of shit.
Catholics, right?
They're only a little
Right. They
bit
know
full
their
of
stuff.
shit.
Right.
They're just like a little bit, and they don't
Yeah.
even know how
They're
to.
right there, but they've been
Yeah.
duped. You know, I get it.
Not a big deal. You go talk to them. That's fine. Buddhists, they don't want shit to do with me.
Yeah,
Wear your
very
robe and shave your head. That didn't say cult. Everyone thinks they make it all epic in the movies, right?
right.
Like you're supposed to be impressed by this spiritual, wise individual. And I'm like, dude's wearing a bathrobe and his head's shaved. He looks like he's in an insane asylum.
Yeah, which spirit is that he's promoting?
They look like they're in an insane asylum.
Right.
They shave their heads off because they're going to get cooties being in a jail cell. And they're wearing bed sheets because that's all they give them. Oh, you're going to take my spiritual advice from Yogi such and such. It's like,
Yeah, you know, you bring up something that's it's been going on in our Discord community a little bit. And of course there's different servers for different topics, you know, and that's fine. That's what it's all about. But man, I'm in the middle of a game. I'm playing SOCOM.
yeah.
And these guys, you know, I linked my channel and I was waiting on them. You know, and there's a way to approach. And some of these guys are older and they're more mature. And okay, granted, had some decent conversations. But you know how that can go. There was a couple of the kids that come in there. When I say kids, they were late 20s, mid 20s, some younger. Man, trying to rip me a new one. The ad hominems, the name calling, and I'm just laughing. I'm just like, guys, we're here to play. Just green up. You know, if you want to have serious conversation, you know where my channel's at. There's another thread on Discord for that, and this is not it. So just the vile hatred and vitriol that people have for true Christianity or what they perceive that to be, because organized religions, you know, twisted things.
I
And that's
think
different. Go
I
ahead.
think the most interesting part about all of that is that what Nick mentioned last time we were talking is that in places like Australia, they didn't have a Christian even close to upbringing, where people are just running around the woods, you know, banging coconuts together, going, ah! I can only imagine what that would be like, where people had no moral basis whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case for a lot of the world.
Reprobate. I think it's a lot of it at this point.
The fact that it's come into America and taken root here is really tough.
Yeah,
Like,
it's tough.
it just shows you how stupid people are. And I hate to be
Well,
down.
look, for me, it didn't even come close to the reality that I once knew. And I think most of us can say that. I mean, especially coming from my childhood back in the 80s, it's like living in an alternate universe at this point. I mean, it don't blow my mind, but I'm so far removed from it, you know. And the Lord said,
Come on,
we
man.
were
You can
peculiar
take the blue
people.
pill and go back to the Matrix and go do your
Man, I've
thing.
taken so many blue pills, it's black pill time. So you know, whatever. There's no going back. It's always the pursuit of truth with me. But as
Uh,
far as what you've said on the last live stream and this one, as far as having those conversations or getting heated about it, which is not my character anymore. I'm more of a sarcastic person. I try to relay stuff encryptically. That's just me. Some get it, some don't. You know, but I'm not willing to offend somebody purposely. I don't want to go out of my way, but it's my personality. A lot of you either get it or you don't, and that's fine. That's unique for everybody.
You're the
But
most offensive person I've ever met on the internet.
I
All you
believe
want to
that.
do is
I've been
talk
told
about
that.
black people and Chinese this and everything.
You really want me to leave this stream right now, man? Max, behave, man. I'm the least racist person anybody would ever know.
I know, and so am I. But I talk about
Then
that stuff all
stop
the
it.
time. I'm also really respective of women, but you never, yeah. Oh, you sent this and you sent that. I'm like, God, it's true, and doesn't just because certain stereotypes or certain truths or social things are in place doesn't mean anything. You have to accept those things, and you can't override them because that's the foundation for how reality exists. You can pretend that a guy can, bear a child all you want to. You can pretend that,
It's
some girl
biologically
thinks
impossible.
I'm a kitty cat because I identify as that. You can do all that all you want to, but you're only being detrimental to yourself, and not only to yourself but to your children and
Yes.
anybody else who has any respect for you. So if you're somebody who nobody has any respect for, then you could say whatever you want to and be completely untruthful, unfaithful, whatever, and just be a total douchebag, debauchery, whatever. But if anybody at all listens to what you have to say, you actually have to say the truth. Otherwise, you will pay for it.
Yes, you will.
It doesn't matter if you're a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Christian or whatever, you are going to pay for it.
Yeah. Just people in general. That's true. To me, not only do you lose the respect, the credibility, what's
Yeah,
left of that society, but
I'm not talking about eternal paying for anything. I'm talking about karma, sort of a thing. You sow what you reap. If you lie to yourself and you lie to other people and mislead them, should it be better that a millstone be hung around your neck than you should deceive the little ones? So don't
yep,
do that.
absolutely.
And by being somebody who is over the age of 20, you would probably fall in that category of not wanting to screw somebody over and not wanting to go down that and trying to teach people. And it's just how that is. Don't do it. Don't do it because I don't even want to know what that's all about. I don't even want to know what that's all about because it seems to be oddly specific for Jesus to say this is exactly what your punishment is that you will be drowned for eternity.
Yep.
I don't think I
There'll be
really
a lot
know.
of them too.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But a lot of people that just do that because a lot of people just think that because they went to school and they can regurgitate something that they know something, and it's not
That doesn't make it true.
it's not egotism or them trying to do anything. It's just that's what they're told and they're going to repeat it. Yeah,
Sure.
a lot of people.
Sure.
Why is the sky blue? And they go, oh, it's because the atmosphere and the oceans reflect off that. And it's like, that's total fucking bullshit. Total.
Well, exactly. That's a
I
good
can
point.
literally prove that's fucking bullshit. But somebody is going to regurgitate and tell that to some child. Doesn't mean that they're being bad and lying. It just means that it's
They were
not
misinformed.
true.
Right, and passing on false information without them knowing it.
It's
We're
just,
all guilty of that
I,
because of the system.
I know everybody is all guilty of that stuff. It's just trying not to do it and trying not to do things. That's a very superficial thing, but things that will hurt people in the future, you can't lie about. You
Right,
can't lie about that.
right.
You can't say, "Oh yeah, it's a gay transsexual whatever goat is going to be a better parent than the natural mother." You can't lie and say that that's the case, unless the mother is dead, I guess. Even then, I would say that probably kid could raise himself better. But there's
Again, that's another attack on God and His character, and the natural order of things that were set in place. Everything's satanic in this country, in this world. But like
Yeah.
Max said earlier, a lot of people, I get hate from that from everybody. Oh, you're not a patriot. What does that mean? Industrial military complex. I mean, again, it goes back to people being damn ignorant or stupid and listening to the mainstream narrative, and they're mind controlled, and I get it. And it's full circle back to what we discussed. Again, it's like I'm over it. I'm over it.
Yeah.
My sister asked me last week. She said, "Jimmy, do you really think the Earth is flat?" And I said, "No, it's
Oh
actually a
my.
topographical plane." I said, "But
Get back on
it's
that.
a realm. It's a realm, and there's a dome above us. It's She's just that look. It's like you're damn serious." I said, "Well, you know me." She said, "Well, you know what? It's like you said too, Max. Most everything you've said in the past 30 years has been spot on." And I sent her the quick vids from
Yeah.
David Weiss, Deep Down the
Yeah.
Rabbit Hole. Best
Mhm.
stuff, the quick stuff.
Yeah.
And she said she watched it and she's tripping. I said, okay. sets you even more free, doesn't it?
Mhm.
She said,
Yeah,
"Oh my God." I was like, "Well,
you know, it's
Satan owns
funny.
this world, April. What do you think?" Are
Everyone's
you?
everyone's
Go ahead.
built a little bit differently,
Well, sure. She
and I
didn't
don't
believe me
think
on this stuff. I told you what, when all this broke out 2 years ago, she called me on the phone. She started crying. I thought something had happened. It scared me. And I was like, just calm down. What's going on? And she said,
yeah,
look, I apologize. She said, you were right. And I said, what?
she believed you.
Yeah. About the coof and many other things that she had been looking at in the past. I don't know. She
I
said
believe
two or 3 months.
it's called
But
the
she,
moronic now. She got the moronic,
she got rid of the, I love it. But
rid of
yeah,
the moronic.
she did. She did. She said, look, she said, a lot of that I did believe, but it was way over my head. And I said, I get it. I get it's not your cup of tea. It's not your thing. It's not your mindset. She said, I see now you dedicated your life to seeking truth. And I said, yeah. And I said, the only truth you need to know is Jesus Christ and his shed blood, period. I said, but if you can come to those other realizations, it's really going to set you even more free as far as the physical here and how the kingdom's set up. And it elaborates keenly on how vital and how true God's word is. It's all there. He
Yeah,
simply tells you what's allegory and what's not,
I'm,
who he's talking to and when and about what. And there's so many passages about this earth and this plane. Look, it's approach. It's about perception and the way you think. If you
well,
come
it's
up in a
not.
system not to be taught to see
Hey, hey,
things,
man,
it's
all you
different.
have to do is ask her what direction is heaven.
She knows. She said she pointed at her heart.
No, heaven
Think
is
about
up.
that. Yeah,
Heaven is up.
never been up.
What do you read your Bible?
Yeah, I do. I can do this all day, just like Captain Rogers said.
Where is heaven?
He never said up. You can't find that anywhere in heaven or in
He
the
said
scripture. Excuse
above.
me. Okay, above what? There's the firmament where the footstool
Well,
is.
if
True
I'm
heaven
here in
interdimensional?
North America and we have Jason in Australia and Nick, who is above what? Who now?
Okay, yes, where heaven was.
Yeah, above.
You sure? Physical
Yes.
place that we can reach here? No, it's what, extra dimensional, interdimensional? That's what I'll argue.
Our Lord in heaven.
Footstool,
Above.
firmament.
Above.
Okay, I'll give you that. I have a different way of
Dude,
thinking about it, but whatever. Unless
that
you're
never
living in Australia, right?
that never stood out to you when you're reading scripture, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I understand the basics of what you're saying, man. I
No, it's
really
not the
am.
basics of what I'm saying. I'm saying the entire Bible is written that heaven is always above, Lord is always above. So if you're on the bottom of the earth on a ball, where is above? That would be
Above you.
God is a liar because above for the guy in Australia
I'm
is not
messing with
above
you,
for the
man.
guy
I'm
who's
messing
in
with
North
you.
America.
I got you. I'm just
That means
having
God's a
fun.
liar.
No, man makes him out to be, but it's
Now,
God
look,
said,
I
not man
challenge
said.
anybody who's out there. Look, if you have a problem with the Bible, just call God a liar. Just call him a liar. Just do that.
People do it
And
every
try
day.
and look, if there's anything out there anywhere, just call God a liar. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's a big one right there. Is like, yeah, heaven is always above. Lord is always above in heaven. Angels are always above in heaven. Well, above
sure.
who? From what reference point?
Yep,
The flat plane Earth.
I got
Obviously,
it. Sure.
it couldn't be a ball. Otherwise, there would be no above.
Yeah, and nothing works on a ball anyway,
And
scientifically.
when you're talking about God, you can kind of metaphorically spiritualize it away. But in the Bible, you talk about specific things that can't be metaphorically like,
Right.
oh, it's all encompassing. It's just it doesn't work.
Yeah, because scripture, again, it tells you when it's clear. When something's an allegory, when it's not. And I'm a literalist. I
I
think
think you're
most
an
of us are.
allegory.
I could be. I've been told that. Man out of time.
I don't know if you're watching chat. What do we got? Preppin' Mama. Dave Weiss videos anymore. So Prepping Mama watches Dave Weiss. Yeah, Dave Weiss is great. I haven't kept up with the Flat Earth movement since old Witsit let me down a bit.
Oh, big time.
But to his credit, Witsit has not been going on the Hebrew roots thing that I have been seeing, but I haven't kept up with them, like I said.
Yeah, he has kind of backed off on a lot of that aspect, hasn't he?
He's been touring the country with his new girlfriend, I guess.
Yeah. He's got a lot of good information as far as that aspect of that conversation. He's really
I'm
good.
kind of on the opinion that he's paid for by the state, but I don't know.
I do too. After what we saw in that video, it's interesting. Hey, a day at a time. If you want me to send you that playlist of Dave Weiss, they keep it hidden and censored on YouTube, so
Oh yeah.
I'll send it to you. Yeah, interesting times we live in now. No doubt. So Max, know that you have a purpose, everybody listening to me. And we're here for that.
I have a
reason, for
purpose?
God. Yep.
I have a purpose to tell everybody to like, share, and subscribe, and blah, 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 like a good internet guy, right? Is that my purpose on the earth?
I don't know. What's the Lord say about that?
He tells me to quit this nonsense.
Is it nonsense at this point?
No. I'm just kidding. I don't know. We have a little bit of a rift right now.
Yeah, for you calling me out to be a racist in front of everybody on YouTube. Are you kidding me? There goes my credibility.
Well, you know.
Tell me, hey man, don't make me come up there. Seriously.
That's nothing compared to your homophobia.
Damn. Here we go. You gotta get off of it, dude. Yeah, I'm absolutely horrified of homosexuals. Or sodomite, excuse me.
There you go.
They just scare me. I don't even leave my home anymore. Are you kidding? Oh my God, Max, you just can't get right now.
That's it. I'm putting it out there.
Whatever. At least I don't basket weave.
Man. Had enough of your homo misogyny, blackography. We had
blackography.
Homo misogyny, blackography. We ain't having enough. Do Chinese eyes.
Damn. Huh? Right when I was thinking Tartaria was controversial.
Oh, man. Tartaria is a fun one to talk about. That's more of a fun topic.
Man. I think it's fascinating. I really do.
Probably after, the serious things here.
Can we get serious for a minute?
I'm
Jimmy hates the Jews.
don't get Jimmy started on the Jews. Man, anytime he sees a tiny hat, he just wants to burn the place down.
Only certain sections that most people are forgetting, to talk about. Grabblers,
as long as it's that part of the temple with that particular part of it.
Right.
He's a very selective Jew hater. No, he's not. He's not. We're all just kidding about all this stuff and all the just mockery of the stuff. And that's kind of how Generation X is. As we look at this stuff and just laugh, and some people take it seriously.
Yep.
That we actually do really hate black people or Chinese people or Jews or anything like that.
I don't hate anyone.
And it's like, yeah, I have negative things to say and generalize about those people. That doesn't mean that I hate them.
Right. You call out truth, man, because there's nobody.
I hate white people too. Does that?
Yeah, I've done a lot of white trash.
I mean, is that going to put me out to some virtue signal thing that says I'm a good guy because I don't like a lot of white people? No. And the whole color of the skin thing, even since I was a small child, was just really retarded.
Me too.
I
had those conversations with my father, and he said, "Son, it was just a different time." I said, "Dad, it never made it right." He said, "Yeah." He said Christians actually had a lot to do with changing a lot of that. Said he never really agreed with it to a point. He said, but we were conditioned to believe otherwise out of fear. You know, that separation, the more the divide and conquer. And I said, yeah, because just watching the movies, hearing the stories from the
So
older
what the
people
hell
when
do you
I,
grow up with? Like Gandhi or something?
dude, dad was wisdom. My dad was just
Oh my
pure
God.
wisdom,
You
dude.
know who I grew up with? I mean, God damn it. I mean, come here, hold my beer and my
Easy,
torch. Now
easy,
I gotta
man.
light my pipe now. Now keep it away from the gas tank. Dad, I'm two. I don't care. You're picking up. You know,
All right, Max, take a chill pill, man. It's gonna be all right.
man, I don't know.
Take a chill,
Just
take
wise
two.
wisdom. You know what I got from my dad? Well, you got to get a job with the state and just clean out shit buckets for a while, and you make $30 an hour after 5 years. That's what I got from my dad. You know
Well,
what? He
dude, I
was
got a
100%.
little bit of that too. He
Right.
tried to
My
take me
dad
to
was
college.
100%. My dad was 100% right. If you want to succeed in Minnesota, go empty the trash cans for 5 years and you'll make $30 an hour.
I get it. I get it. What else you gonna do? Seek higher education and fall into that bill of goods? And
I
most of
looked
the
at
people I knew, listen to me, just like you knew, especially from the '80s, that was sold that shit. Okay, go get in debt, go spend $300,000, $400,000 on higher quote education, and most of those people I knew, what did they end up doing? Entry level jobs.
yeah, but
Sad.
they don't have a choice. I'm talking about people before that and what they taught their kids.
No, I get it.
I'm
I get
mainly
it.
talking about baby boomers, and I'm
I
mainly
know.
talking about
I just didn't
silent
want to say it.
generation.
Yeah.
And they had the opportunity to see, and they should have understood what was going on with the world, and all of that. And they sold their kids down the river, and then they're going to leave them nothing.
Well, they had their
Over 80,
blinders on, man.
almost 90% of baby boomers, people who are listening right now, between the ages of 40 and 60 years old, your parents, if they're still alive, aren't leaving you anything, and they're not intending to leave you anything.
Not true. My mother's going to leave me a few things.
So you're one
But,
of the 10%.
yep.
Congrats.
But
And
she's
she
a
going to
good
leave you like
Christian
two,
woman,
three
too.
thousand dollars.
Probably not even that, but it's more
Right.
the materialistic stuff. You know, I
Right.
don't care about the other.
When a baby boomer goes to the home, they pay $10,000 to $12,000 every month.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How much would $10,000 to $12,000 a month benefit you right now to make more money than that?
Yeah. True.
I could turn $10,000 a month right now, probably into 15 by next month.
Yep. I know you could.
It's not by playing the markets or doing anything funny. I could just park the $10,000 in an asset and by next month have that much.
Sure.
It's not even by playing markets or anything. It's just
That's being going back to being a good steward, you know. But why that certain generation? Look, my dad was silent. We talked about that too. But my dad was, it's a cliche, but look, my dad was the type when he spoke, you listened. He had something to say because he'd been through it. And he was a little different. I couldn't cast him in that same, you know, cliche of a blanket that most of that generation came out of because dad was very different, man. Very tenderhearted, very quiet, man. I didn't get that from him. But a lot of wisdom. I mean, he cared about people. You know, he felt guilty. My dad was the type, if he went out and had to buy something, washer broke down, whatever, new set of tires, he felt guilty. Because, look, he joined several organizations for 30 something years that I remember to feed the poor, you know, here in America, to do this, that, and the other. And he didn't make a lot of money most of our lives until I got till about 16, 17. Then he moved way up where he was at. And that's back when you really had that institution to where you could actually retire with full benefit. And you know
when
what I'm
money
saying?
meant something.
You damn right. That's
You
it.
know, you used to, and people who don't believe me, ask your parents. Your parents won't tell you unless you ask them. But when you were a 40-year-old man, you could go work at the gas station. Your wife would stay home with your 3 kids, and you
Yep.
could pay your mortgage and have
what
2
Dad did.
cars and live off the wage you earned at the gas station.
Absolute fact.
Absolute fact.
Yep, we grew up that way. Didn't have a lot, but we
Absolute
got by. Money meant
fact.
something. Right. Right.
One wage earner, minimum wage job,
Yep.
3 kids and a wife.
When Dad got
You
out of the
cannot.
military, his first job was making $3.02 or something crazy for doing some kind of welding position before he got involved with NASA as a contractor, and that only went up to like 12 or 13, but that was then money. So, you know, their first house was $8,000,
Yeah.
and it was a two level that I grew up in for the first 7 years of my life. So it's incredible.
Yeah, and we're not, I'm with my talk of cryptocurrency and what I'm doing about getting ahead. I often talk about wealth and often talk about, that's pretty much how it's measured is in your financial assets and just the general shit you own. I do not want to confuse people in that money and the shit you own is nothing. It's not really the thing. It's it's moving forward and having a, I don't know about a nest egg, but like building an asset and building wealth. It's not
Yeah.
about buying a Lamborghini. I'm not out here trading crypto and being involved in this so I can, run around and twist my little mustache or something. It's just about protecting myself and my future, and I'm never going to have children as far as I know. But as far as going forward, having some money in a stash or something to leave something back behind and, do something with it. It's not about, oh, I'm going to rule the world. It just
Pinky in the
is
brain.
what it is.
Right. Right.
And the system is so evil that the more money that good people have like me, the better I can fight against the evil. Okay. And the more immune I am to any kind of bullshit, because, if I was depending off YouTube for like any sort of income at all,
Oh no.
I would be in the poorhouse
Broke.
5 years ago, 6 years
Yep.
ago. When did I start? 2000,
8.
2012? No, Denlinger started 2008. I think I started 2012, or 13, somewhere in there.
Mm.
And so I would have went broke because they blackballed me like within a couple of years of that.
Yeah, it's
And
quick.
so that's just how it is. That's how quick they can take the stuff from you. As soon as they don't like you, they can turn off your money flow. That's what fiat is. But if you have an actual hard asset like gold, silver, or like Bitcoin, crypto, whatever, they can't do that.
Yep.
And everything is decentralized to the point no one can screw with you.
Yep.
And that's
True.
where we want to go with this. And I'm an idealist, and I am very harsh in the things that I say, and I do everything that I say. But I understand people can't always do all these things. But if you do one thing, right, and try and get off the government tit and try and reduce your involvement with the government, try to get into whether it be gold or silver or something else that's not on fiat,
The better off
just
you'll
try
be.
to do something
Right.
and just make
Baby
it part of a
steps.
process. Not
Right.
everything's going to change overnight.
Oh no.
And I know I make it sound like anybody who's doing this is just a dumbass, and everybody who's using fiat's a dumbass. And it's like everybody has to do it, But I try to be entertaining and try and make a point, whatever. But you have to understand the general concept of what I'm talking about.
Right.
The general concept is personal autonomy. The general
Period.
concept is that you're reliant on yourself. And God, guys, that's the big one that always kicks me in the ass, is you have to be reliant on God, which sucks because it's a very insecure thing. And where am I going to go? I don't have money for food. Well, I'm going to go to government. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. And it's like, yeah, you probably should go to God first. It's not everybody's first reaction. It's not mine.
Yeah.
But that's the truth.
Yeah, it took me years to develop that relationship. And it takes time.
My opinion is of it like this, and this is my own stupid justification for it, is that God gave me the tools to deal with the situation, and I should be able to deal with it. And I look at it like God wouldn't have put me in front of the situation if I couldn't defeat it with my own tools. That's how I look at it. So for me, it's a pride issue. It is not a
Sure.
very good thing.
I get it.
But it's also true. because you look at the Bible, it's like
Fruits of your labor, you know.
there's no, it's not. It's the fruits of labor is part of it, but you also have this thing where like you're given these talents and you didn't do shit with them.
I was waiting
Okay.
on it.
And
The talents.
right, and then you've got this other thing is like, well, you can move mountains with faith in me, and you know you have this kind of dichotomy, and everyone has to kind of reconcile that with themselves or whatever. But
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, you can be in jail, you can be have nothing, you can be homeless, and God's going to be there for you.
Yep.
The problem is like in your middle of doing something, you're cruising along good, and you have all your little plans laid in place, and there's a big, huge fucking stumbling block you can't get around. Well, that's God fucking. Say, how are you going to get around that, guy?
Could be Satan, but ultimately it's
No, it's God.
being allowed. I understand.
That's God. How you tell me about
Well,
that?
look, it's a test too. We're here to learn as well, right?
No.
Yep, to strengthen that faith, baby.
They're
James
gonna,
2.
they're not gonna look. We're not gonna blame
James
all.
2.
We're not gonna blame all bad things that ever happen in the world on Satan, and all good things on
No,
God.
not
That's
it-
not the way it is. Everything is
No,
controlled by
happens.
God. It's all God.
I get it. I can't argue that. That's an old way of thinking for me that comes out, so I have to learn to reword
Like,
that.
the only thing I'm willing to give up to Satan and his devils is when like people pass like little buzz shit, you know, and people toss rumors around, you know, and
Yeah.
people just have this bad feeling and they're just angry. Okay, I'll toss that up to Satan. God ain't doing that. But when you have major life changing events, your house fucking burns down, all this shit fucking happens, God's doing that. There isn't any getting
Well,
around
how
that.
much of that is just happenstance? Because Scripture is clear that the good and bad
Scripture
also
is
happens
clear.
to
What
the good
happened
and
to
bad.
Job? God said, "Go burn the
Heads
dude's
of
house."
protection. Hedge of protection, though.
Said you can do
touched on
anything you
that.
want except kill him.
Right.
There you go.
He didn't lose his faith, though. That's the
Why
whole
couldn't
point.
he kill Job?
God's protection.
Job didn't want to be killed. Job didn't want to die.
So does that go back to mindset or just his strength in his faith? Because he never gave up faith. That was the whole point.
Well, there isn't any way you can. You're
What
supposed
do
to
you
believe
mean?
God doesn't exist.
No, that's not what I mean. People
mean
fall
that
from
it's
the
not-
faith all the time. People lose faith.
The
they
story
go
is
through-
the story is showing you that you can't lose faith.
No, once you believed on and you're saved and he dwells you and you're
Well-
part of him and he's part of you, you're born again from that aspect, sure.
That's complicated.
Well,
All that happened in
make
that
it-
story. All that happened in that story was Job believed God exists, and Job was saved, and that was it.
but he was faithful. And what does that mean? And there are
Was he?
different aspects of being faithful.
Job wasn't.
Less worry. Don't leave it at the cross. Quit picking
Job
it
just
up.
couldn't. No, Job just couldn't figure out what he did to screw up.
Yeah, it was kind of arbitrary, wasn't it? Had a hard time.
Job
with that
didn't
story
recognize he was a sinner, but he didn't know what he did. Everybody said you must have done something to God to
Yeah.
cause this on you, and he's like, as far as I know, I'm better than. And what Job is doing in his mind is going, well, I'm better than you, and I'm better than you, and I'm better than you.
Maybe.
No, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I possibly could have done.
Yeah, I had trouble with that passage for a long time. It's interesting.
It
Brings up
doesn't
some
mean
good
that.
points.
And Job is not wrong in that he probably was a better, more devout man than other people. But he didn't recognize that he was a sinner like everybody else because it hasn't been taught yet. But he did recognize that his wife wants to bitch at him about, your God of yours isn't protecting us from other stuff. And he's like, God's the one who gave us this stuff. Fuck off, bitch. Very, very clear. I mean, there is no more clear passage in the entire thing of Job is like his wife complaining to him
Yeah.
about God
Yeah, that's
destroying him, and him being like, how do you think we have these millions of dollars?
Yeah, he giveth, he can take it away, right?
Right. And she was no more. Imagine that with all the wives that are no more who want to say something.
Hmm.
Huh. Who's a pillar of salt? They have some smart things to say about how they know the Bible and whatever.
Easy.
I know. Saying anything. This this is way before the gospel. Job is way before the gospel,
Right.
and I love going to it. It's funny because everybody wants to say that they're Job. My personal struggle is Job, and it's like, no, you're just a loser in your situation, like Ken Hovind. It's like, yeah, you wanted to
Bring
you
up
wanted to
Dr.
make
Bono.
Ken Hovind, you wanted to make millions of dollars and be a big old boomer that everybody appreciated, and you got mad because you got thrown in jail. And it's like, no, you probably should have paid your taxes because
You better believe it.
You want to play in
Crook.
that game, and you want to have your CSE whatever corporation. You have to pay
Yep.
the taxes. That's just how the rules go. And if you're not playing by the rules, God ain't going to protect you.
Period.
So we did his thing, and they always want to go back to Job. Everyone wants to quote Job this and Job that.
Yeah, I
And
hear it
everyone
all the time.
fails to realize that this is both before the gospel, but this is recognizing the basic truths of humanity is that everything that you have, you can attribute to God.
Yeah.
And you could say, I mean, you just all bad because of God. And it's like, well, what are you doing to improve it? Well, I would do better if God would help me. And there's
no doubt.
this victim
Heard a lot
this
of that.
victim mentality, and
Yep.
either you're going to be like Job and be like, I was kind of given what I had and I'm pretty appreciative of it, or you're going to be like his Job's wife who's like, I can't believe God's doing this to us, right? And that's the two aspects of it, and everybody struggles with that all the time. And when you cut
Sure.
down through all of the bullshit throughout the entire thing, before no gospel, no nothing, no Jesus, no nothing, what it comes down to is God got your back or don't God got your back. What's it going to be? Either you believe or you don't. You can't be a fair weather whatever. You believe in truth or you're not. It's
Yeah,
not
ride
just
the
like
fence.
whatever suits your needs at the time, which is how people are. I'll
Yeah,
totally
that's
cop to
true.
that.
Yep.
Dude, everybody is whatever suits my needs at the time. I'm totally that. Not for the last 10 years, but back before I was saved. Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, like,
Oh, absolutely.
every single decision I ever made is what suits my needs at the time.
Sure. What's in it for me?
Probably the biggest salvation, the thing that changed in salvation probably the most was that what will suit my needs right this second, as opposed to going on and doing a future thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Buy your storable foods. Buy your storable foods.
Yeah, I've got a year supply, so
Do you really?
Oh yeah. For
I had about a month or two, and I gave them to a dude.
Really?
I'm like, yeah, God'll figure it out.
Sure.
I thought I would be a farmer, and turns out I can't grow anything. I'm really bad at that.
I understand, yeah.
Everybody who thinks that's a great idea to go out there and go do the hobby farm thing and go do all that, yeah.
Now you
Turns out
better
you
have
gotta
the
have-
right setup, know what you're doing.
You gotta have soil, and then
That helps.
I actually brought in soil and spent like
You told me.
$500 to bring
Yep.
in all this shit. Nothing still fucking grew.
You're
Everything
kidding.
still died.
I thought you had a few things grow pretty well, didn't you?
the
From what
first-
I can remember.
It gets worse and worse. That's the
Right.
problem.
It
dude.
depletes.
It gets
Right.
worse every year and every year. It's worse
Right,
and worse.
because
and
you got to
worse.
spend a fortune on that soil, man, to keep it up. If you don't have good, rich Alabama soil, you're not growing anything.
I don't know. We're having rich Alabama grass now. We're just gonna get rid of that shit. I'll tear down my raised garden beds and be done with it. I'll just have to. I work at a grocery store now, man. I'll just have to eat off the shelves.
Hey, whatever works. You're
Just have
close to
lima
food.
beans and corn for the rest of my life.
Oh, speaking
69
of
cents
that,
a can.
did you find those Pop-Tarts for me?
No, they didn't have the orange Pop Tarts for it.
Wow. Man. Sad.
Yeah.
Probably a good thing because I gave up sugar for the most part. Working
Yeah,
on it.
you gave up sugar for a day.
No.
Tell me about it in
No.
like 2
It's
years.
been a few weeks. It's been a few weeks.
You'd be a dusty skeleton sitting there.
According
Jack
to
the
everybody around
Dusty
me.
Skeleton.
Yeah, I'm what,
No, I
192?
found out. I weighed myself today or yesterday.
A buck
I
five.
said, dude, I'm
No,
high school.
well, you eat 2 olives a day,
I'm a,
man. Come
I'm
on.
a high school fighting weight, dude.
Yeah,
I am
please.
so impressed with that.
Man, I'd knock you out in one hit. It'd take a 40 caliber because it couldn't be physical.
You
I promise you.
you probably could knock me out in one hit if you could hit me, but you're like
Oh, I'm
10 years.
fast. No, I'm fast.
Oh yeah, you're fast.
Oh, I'm very
50-year-old.
fast.
Just
I don't
hold my-
last
hold my-
long.
Hold my cane. Let me go kick this guy's ass.
It's not that bad yet, Max.
No.
But
I'm
getting
146, which is exactly my weight when I was fighting.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah.
I could outrun you. At least 50
I
foot.
doubt that. I had like
no,
a
I'm
4 minute
quick.
I had a
What?
4 minute
Mile?
and 30 something mile.
Mile. What? Whoa, whoa,
No,
whoa.
no. I had 6
I was
minutes.
going to say I had,
I had 6
five,
minutes.
just shy of 6 minutes back in
Yeah, I had about a 6
85.
minute mile.
God, that's good, man. Not many could do it back then.
I got little tiny legs too. Yeah, little tiny legs.
And mine are long and lanky. So I
Yeah,
like stride, man. That's funny. But the fastest kid on our team, I think I told you this years ago, his name was Flea. Grew up with him other side of the tracks. Cool dude. Short, a midget stature.
Under the bridge, there with Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I mean, he was a troll, right? Cool dude. Very athletic, but he probably wasn't 3 inches high.
Yeah.
And everybody loved him, but he was just the local midget, good time guy, right?
You
Just a
can't
cool
call him
dude.
that anymore.
Okay,
You
vertically
gotta
challenged.
call him like
Vertically challenged.
Chinesium or something.
Chinese. This dude back in '83 ran a 4.9.
Hmm.
And we were like, what? It's
Yeah.
insane. He held the record here in Alabama for like 6 years. Just to watch him run, it was hilarious because it was like flat-footed. He couldn't use shoes. But it's smoking stuff. It's like super powered stuff. I couldn't catch him. There's no way. On my best day, he'd just turn around and smile at me. He was so funny. But some people are just natural with it, man. But he came from the hood, What's that?
HGH.
I don't know. I really don't. Really don't. Fast dude, though. Called him Flea. The Flash.
Yeah, I used to be really big and tough. People that don't believe me, back in junior high school, something like that.
I can see that.
I used to be a tough guy.
I wasn't until I got a little older.
I was one of those guys who, with a chip on their shoulder, whose mom didn't love him and dad hated him.
Yeah, I get it. I can see that. I had friends that way too. A fight of a drop of a hat. What do you look at?
I used to be a bully with morals. Like, I pushed them up against their locker. I'm sorry, man. I didn't hurt you that bad, did I? I don't mean anything.
Okay.
Dude, you're really cool.
Comic relief. Yeah.
You're really cool. Just give me fucking money.
No way, man. You didn't take nobody's lunch money. I know.
No, I never stole anybody from anywhere.
All right.
Stole anybody?
Just their pride.
Dude. No. It was what it was, but it was pretty funny. It's like I was the biggest kid going, like 7th, 8th grade. Big tough dude. And like in 9th grade, the HGH kicked in, and everyone started taking steroids.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you have 6'5", 250-pound dudes.
Dude.
Who were football players and stuff.
Right.
And they had fucking biceps bigger than my head.
Yes.
In high school.
Yeah.
In the 11th grade. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on?
Went to school with this guy, right? He OD'd years ago. It's a long story. But he was pretty cool. 6th grade, then 7th grade, junior high kicked in. Beating him at arm wrestling, used to love it, just good at it, loved it. I was never really very competitive, but alongside running, but arm wrestling was fun to me. Well, this guy, man, just cool dude, but just a weakling. A summer goes by, don't see him, it's a summer break. We come back. He's done put on 20-something pounds. You know, from 7th grade to 8th grade into that age group, we're like, okay, steroids, something's up. Come to find out that's what he was
No.
doing. Changed his
You think
mindset. He got
so?
very aggressive. Oh, I know so. I know so.
Well,
It wasn't the tiger's milk.
people between seventh and ninth grade can grow like by 50 pounds. Though.
Yeah, but I get it. But from 7th to 8th, just that one summer, and as little as he was, man, I remember. Okay, it was the second day of school. Class was over. It was their second period. Hey, Hendon. I'm like, what's up? You want some now? And I'm looking at him. You know, he's not huge, but I could tell
Were
he
you
was just.
bullying the little boy?
No, man, it was all fun. And I looked at him. I said, man, you don't want none. Next thing I knew, he's throwing me around the classroom like a rag doll, twice my strength. And I'm like, oh, okay. I know what I want for Christmas. A set of weights. So it was on, man. It was just funny.
You became a little person. Apparently, prepping mama is saying the little person is the word you should be using instead of Chinesium.
Chinesium. I've never heard that. That's actually funny. Chinese. That is good, though. I just say vertically challenged. Apparently, that's offensive now. So, you know.
I don't know.
Not
Everything is offensive.
They're not as tall.
I don't think I think the whole point of this channel is that we don't really care about Trump much anymore.
Well,
Pretty
you
well
know,
offended everybody.
sure.
Prepping mama, what is one great question you want to ask like any of us about anything? And we'll turn that over while I look through chat and see if I miss stuff. Maybe I'll even turn off my camera. I'm getting tired of broadcasting my beautiful face. Oh, my crappy environment. I was actually going to make a video about I spent the last 2 weeks setting up cryptocurrency miners. My entire room is torn. It's just still all torn apart. And cryptocurrency miners bring a lot of heat. So I'd be like,
Is that what the shower curtain's about behind you, the green one?
part of it, you know.
Gotcha.
It's a green screen, but it also is a curtain so that my fans
Right.
will blow actually straight into my
Airflow,
rig right
baby.
here.
Gotcha.
And honestly, it runs about 72 degrees Celsius, which is like 160 degrees, 180 degrees. But if I turn the fan on a little bit, it will actually bring the temperature down by a tremendous amount. So
There you go.
it's all a delicate balance.
That's it.
It's all going cha-ching, 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 though. We're making
Yeah,
a lot of money here.
How did Eli put that on that one live stream? The money printers go brrr.
Oh, yeah. You hadn't heard that before?
Yeah, that's
Pretty
funny.
meme for
Speaking
a
of
while.
Eli, where is Eli?
I don't know.
Out
It's
at the
Sunday.
range. Yeah, he's
Probably
still
out
shooting
working.
his guns.
Money printers are not going burr, so people think, which is why the market's dropped, but they're still going to have to. People don't understand that.
No, they don't.
That's why I
Economic
say,
collapse.
I don't give investment. I don't give investment advice. I'm saying that the market right now is in the bottom, and yes, it can go lower, but there's a much higher percentage that's going to go higher. And it doesn't matter if you invest in the stock market or the cryptocurrency or the silver or the gold or whatever. When everybody is selling their stuff and the fear and greed index says everybody's afraid, I don't want to buy nothing, that's when you buy stuff. And when you do that, there is no downside. You just sit on it and hold it. And no, you're not going to become a millionaire overnight, but you're going to make money. That's all there is to that.
Yep.
And you know
That's the
me,
truth.
I have no money.
Not yet.
I'll get it back.
I
There
know
are some
you
people
will.
out there helping me with that, and you know who you are. And, it'll take some time, but we'll see.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I got to buy my 5th or 6th Buick.
And
I got an army truck that I'm going to buy now, and then a chainsaw. I'm going to call it a Husky 294 XP.
You beat me to it,
I'm
man.
gonna
You
call
so
it a-
beat me to that,
I'm going to
dude.
call it
You
a Husky 294 XP. I'm going to have my chainsaw.
Yeah, I sent him a message the other day. Now that
Oh,
the
God, don't
barbarian,
even tell
the
me. Why
barbarian
did you
on.
tell me that?
No, listen.
Why?
This is what I asked him.
Why? It's gonna
Told him,
dominate.
listen. I told him I had a change of heart, and if there was any way that I could set it up to where I could come and get some tutelage, from such a
Some
wise master.
tutelage.
That's it. To be a parishioner of perdition out there in the woods, speaking to the squirrels with him, and the response was like, just go to hell. I'm like, okay, is that the way
Did
you
he
run your
actually
ministry?
respond?
Oh yeah, he knows who
Oh
I
my
am.
God, he must be so jonesing for money.
Oh, it's bad, isn't it?
He's
The
back on.
barbarian.
Yeah. I saw he was back on YouTube with no mention of the fact he left YouTube, like at all, and he even deleted the video that he said he
Yep.
was leaving YouTube on.
He's
And
a
he's back as a
crafty one.
barbarian, dude. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he like is not
I
even
thought it
gonna.
was somebody copying his channel. I didn't even think it was him. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, the
I don't know.
levels this man goes to. It's insane.
He wouldn't even offer an. I don't know. I don't know anything about anything because I'm not making money. Obviously, he is, but it's like,
Well, his hard drives are on sale.
yeah, but he ain't making shit on that.
No, he's not.
He's not
It's
making anything on
sad.
that. But it's like,
Oh.
if I actually had a legitimate business where I'm making money on something and I felt it was time to go, I'd be like, okay, this is where I'm going to be, and F YouTube, F the man, I don't care about your money. And then you have to come back with your tail between your legs, up your
But
butt.
not him.
Like,
Not with that pride.
Well, I'm gonna change my name. And then
Barbarian.
just delete my little video that says I hate YouTube and I can't in good justification, and the Lord told me to leave YouTube, and then come back and say, oh, I'm just barbarian guy now.
Yeah, because
And
the
it's
Lord
like,
repented in his case,
dude,
right? Obviously.
Did nobody? I mean, the technology exists to download videos and save them to your hard drive, guys, where you can actually play this stuff. And you can watch Brian Denlinger talk out of this side and that side and this side and that side and this side and that side, all the way through. And the dude comes back to YouTube after saying God told him not to be on YouTube. Okay.
Fact.
Okay, man. I'm the barbarian now. I'm not Brian Denlinger or King James Video Bullshit Ministries. All right.
But it's good to know he's the new and improved Apostle Paul.
Man, that was the old Brian under King James Video Ministries. Now is the barbarian. He gets to make faux pas and say things like Chinesium because he's the barbarian now. He makes it cool.
The barbarian for Christ. Alone in the wilderness. It's just a complete comical show at this point, man.
Well, here's what it comes down to: is the guy's a total thief. I mean, that's all there is to it. And
you better believe it is the con artist. That's all he is.
If he is, look at this, guys. This goes back to what we were talking on earlier. It's like the moral compass of people that you think are normal, and with this whole COVID, I can't say that. COVID is a totally real thing that is totally happening to people, and everybody is getting infected. So the moronic virus out there, the people who believe in this and getting the shot and doing all these things and all this stuff, it's just all bullshit, right? So they can keep their job or keep doing whatever. And I kind of forgot where I was going on with the track, but and my minors are failing. So, yeah, I know. I'm getting failed shares, so I'm kind of. That's money. That's cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh, that's right. We were talking about Brian Denlinger.
The barbarian of apostasy.
No, what was I talking about, Jack? No, I'm serious. I have like big red screen come up.
Brian and him being a con artist,
Oh, right. Now I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so for someone, I got on a rabbit trail with that, but let's just look at Brian Denlinger and the kind of con man, piece of shit, garbage human being that he is.
Slinger.
Okay, I am a dude who was a fan of Brian Denlinger for a year or two or something like that.
Me too.
I also had my own channel and was fired up with the Lord and did my own research and did a lot of things and thought that it would be good to donate to Brian because I had a bunch of money and I had no idea where to send it. And I thought, well, okay, he seems like he's doing good. And he seems like he's down on his luck. He's just a hard-working lumberjack man who doesn't have nothing. He's just living in a ditch somewhere. Oh, my car is broken. Oh, my muffler fell off. Oh, my third truck's second cousin, sister's kids, the drive shaft fell off. Oh, guy's a piece of fucking filth. So, anyways, I didn't know this. I send this guy some money, and I'm running my own channel. And I'm not like a small channel. I probably had the same amount of people, close to probably 3,000 probably back then, and sending money. And he kind of sort of knows who I am. He thought that Max Bauer was some kind of a Jesuit or something like that.
Me
so
too.
he sent me a message back, and I said, well, this is my business name. And I was kind of just joking with them.
Right.
I'm like, whatever. If you don't want to take the money, I don't give a shit. Fuck off. Right? Of course he took the money.
You better believe.
You know what he did? A year later?
Here we go.
This is all through YouTube email back and forth. Buttfucker goes back a year. Clickety, clickety, clickety. There is no way to search for this. There is no way to search for who I am. There is no way to search for the donation. There's no way to search through anything. He goes back clickety, 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 clickety,
Took him a long time.
clickety, 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 clickety.
Yep. For
All the way
hours.
back. Hours.
Yep.
Just to find my name. Because I came out with a video that says I disagree with him on his interracial marriage video. And he came out and doxed my ass.
Big time.
After,
Illegal.
and he got that for me giving him $1,000.
Yep.
I gave him $1,000. And what did he do with it? This motherfucking piece of fucking filth fucking tried to wreck me. That's who Brian Denlinger is. The piece of shit. Never repented for it. Never said anything about it. Never refunded to me. Gone on record on many a video saying he won't donate to lost people. He won't accept donations from lost people. He won't do this from lost people. This guy's the biggest motherfucking piece of shit on the fucking internet. Okay?
Hey,
and
Max,
I'm happy.
real quick. Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. Mother needs me. I'm going to have to log off. You can continue on, man. If I've got a few minutes, I'll come back.
All right, man.
It's been a good one. God bless everyone. I'll see you, Max.
All right, Jack. So anyways, back to the Denlinger thing and about the whole deal with that. This guy finally left YouTube, and we're pretty happy. Good. I at least outlasted that guy. I at least outlasted him. But no, here he is. No, I'm going to pretend I'm the barbarian guy. We're circling back around to the beginning to where it's like, why even do these things? You know, obviously, if people like Brian Denlinger exist and they survive on donations from people and just screw people and lie to them and do all these things, what really chance is there for somebody who is actually trying to do something good? What's the point? You know, and that's where we're really, really struggling. But God has his plan for everybody, I guess. And all I can say is, well, Bry, we're still here. At least for a little bit. I'm kind of done doing YouTube. I don't have much to say that isn't very, you know, I don't have much to say about it, anything at the moment. Just being very negative. I like what I call it, the cloud of negativity, where enough bad things hit you enough times where you don't have anything positive to say. And some people might get something out of the things I say if they really take them to heart, but most people won't. Most people just want good, uplifting stuff to where, you know, you blow flowers up their skirt and everything is all good. And, you know, there's a lot of guys out there who'll do that. A lot of guys. Just go do that. If you want to donate money to useless causes, go over to Barbarian Denlinger and his cult and go do that. We're not really about that here. We're not really about mincing words. We're not really about sidestepping certain things. And that's not like we're, at least me personally, I'm not setting out to go smash some ideals and just trying to be provocative. No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to cut through people's perceptions. Cut through people's perceptions and use language that people aren't used to hearing so that they actually hear it. Because if I just drone on in the background, then I just drone on in the background and people chitter chatter away on the typing as they talk to themselves back and forth in the chat, and they don't actually hear. When I say Chinesium, they're like, oh, talking about Chinaman, right? People pick up. Anyways. So Jack is out of here. I guess I'm going to be out of here too then. What else we got here? Do you suggest for Bible shows on here anyone left? Can't find anyone I don't disagree with now because they all just keep pushing Bell all over. Cigarette or Rapture is today. It's weird now. No. No, I actually just saw that. I'm used to be pretty tight with Robert Breaker. He's back on the Rapture thing. I didn't watch his video, but I saw that come up in the thing. Oh, we got Russian bots. Everybody loves Russian bots, dude. No, it's just I like Ed. Ed's older guy though. He doesn't come out with a lot of content. There isn't anybody who comes out with regular content that I listen to anymore. I usually directly hunt and peck and find the content that I want to see. And usually about something very specific is where I'm at. And if you want Bible related content, I don't know. We're kind of doing life generalities and Bible morals and stuff like that. But as far as Bible teaching stuff, 4 or 5 years of content, 6 years of content. You can learn all about the Catholic Church in my first video in the Blood Moons. Hey, why isn't the rapture happened yet? I did the Blood Moons video like 4 or 5 years ago. Why aren't we in rapture yet? So it's as bunch of shit now as it was back then. Watchman's Mantle is talking about people departing from the faith. Is that really happen? People stop practicing. Do people actually depart and where they don't believe Jesus exists anymore? They don't believe they're saved? I don't think so. I don't think that's really possible. Once you certain things you see and you can't unsee them. All right. Russian bot's gone. That's all we got. I'm still working through technical difficulties. I was having problems with my last stream and none of my stuff worked. It's like, I guess my camera works this time.
I'm just going to shut it down. I don't know if anyone has anything to say. I'm still like cycling through things and seeing how it's all working here. No. All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. And, you know, this was a very impromptu thing that Jack wanted to do. And I figured, what the hell? We'll see if I can get my computer working. It seems to be working a little better than before. My room is still all torn apart. And, but at least it's working, right? Microphone is working. Yeah, it's all good, so we'll have a little bit more focus next time if we do a live stream or something like that. All I got to say is, going forward is trying to keep a little bit of a positive attitude. Everybody, no matter how woke they think they are or whatever plane of existence they think that they're on, everyone's going through hard times. It doesn't matter if you're atheist or holy roller or whatever. Everyone's going through some really tough stuff right now, and it's been a long haul for a lot of people. And don't let your emotions get the best of you, and understand where all this stuff is coming from. It's all government, right? You can call it Satan, but I think that's a little bit too broad for most people to understand. You got to point it down. It's the government, and it doesn't matter if it's the United States or Russia or North Korea or wherever. It's government. That's the tool that's put in place to oppress you. And their system is falling apart, and they're going to try to enslave you more before it falls apart completely. And, so you just kind of have that in the back of your mind. And you're fighting with your job, and you're fighting with all this stuff. And understand that you are a corporation, and you have the same rights as a corporation, which is a blessing and a curse. And they cannot do anything, and nobody can do nothing without your consent. And yeah, you can get fired, but they can't deny your unemployment. Yeah, they can do this. Yeah, they can do that. There is no surefire. Everybody wants, just give me a secret magic word to say and all my problems go away. And it's like, there is no. It doesn't happen. This isn't Harry Potter world, It's not the way it is. You have to fight. If you don't want to fight, then just take your seat in the line at the back. Go sit with them. You're not a bad Christian if you aren't going to fight like that. I'm just saying, you're going to be way better off if you fight. Way better off. You're going to be way better off if you take some active participation in what is going on in the transition in the world, in the transitory period that's going on. You will be way better off. But hey, if you don't want to do that, don't do it. Take your shot. Go keep your job and do what the master says. But don't go up on Facebook and cry about how your body doesn't work anymore and you're paralyzed. You can't do that. You can't file for Social Security and expect me to pay for your crippled ass after you went and you got your shot and crippled yourself. That's not fair to me. I told you, don't take that thing. You crippled yourself. Not my fault. But, nobody is anybody's fault anymore. No personal responsibility. All right. Prepping mama, you're boring. You don't think of anything. Cool. Are people saved when using the modern Bible versions? Could be, could not be. Salvation doesn't really have anything to do with the words in the book. You can hear the gospel. Jesus didn't have anything written down when he told it, right? No. if you get the gist of it, which is why the words that I use when I talk Chinesium, when I talk about cracker, I talk about this, that, the other thing, and I use it to relay a message. It doesn't matter that I use those terms. I use them so your ears pick up a little bit and you understand the message. It doesn't matter the terminology that I use. But as far as Bible, I will say this, as far as if you're studying the Bible and you're doing a Bible study course or class or whatever, and you're going to study Matthew 15, you need to have a King James Bible. Matthew 15, you pick that thing up and you go in there and you go, Matthew 15. You have to have a King James Bible. Otherwise, you can't prove any points. Salvation is not dependent on what Bible you're using. Watchman's Mantle is correct. Thank you, Watchman's Mantle. Perfect. All right, guys. So that's what I got. I'm a little bit done talking. I think I've been talking for like an hour or two. So sort of happy all my stuff is working. I wanted to play guitar, but I couldn't get that working. Meow. I was going to serenade Jack. All right. Well, thanks, Watchman's Mantle, for putting out that thing on the quotes. Good night, Prep and Mama, and anybody else who I may have missed. Jessica Baker is bot. Bridget, Josh. All right, guys. I'm not really going to apologize for the stream, but I'm just going to say that, I am talking to Jack. Jack wanted to do this, and we just wanted to have a conversation about what people are thinking right now and just have a conversation amongst ourselves. I don't talk to Jack all the time, like once a week maybe. And he suggested, just to do something. I'm like, whatever. I thought it was going to be on his channel. So we really didn't have anything planned. And I don't like doing that. I always like to circle back. I like to have a really good focus. But I think, the focus being that we're all pretty scatterbrained right now. We're all having a hard time with a lot of stuff. And it doesn't matter if you're making $10 an hour. It doesn't matter if you're making $40 an hour. Everyone's got these problems where the federal government is paying their employers to give them hell, really, about masks or about jabs or about whatever, And I'm going to talk about all this stuff about personal autonomy and trust in God and things like that. And it's kind of important. And all the stuff else out there is kind of just really outside that is really what you can focus on. It's like nobody has to be me. No one has to be as hardcore and idealistic as me. No one has to be like Jack. But it take like one or 2 points that you can apply to your life and you'd be better off for it. And that's really all we're trying to go through. I mean, I kind of try to be a little more entertaining and I be a little more over the top, right? And I do that to try and get through to people. It's not something weird, right? Except for that, whatever, that Denlinger dude. For more about that guy. All right, Watchman's Mantle. Thanks for the prayers. Thank you guys for the prayer. And like I said, we'll hopefully come up with something that's a little bit more structured. That's usually the way I like to do things. Maybe we'll do something on Jack. He always keeps threatening to make a channel, and I'm like, yeah, you do it. You do it. You do it. I'll come over there. I'll wreck that stuff for you. We kid. Anyways, I'd like to go out and go do that. I am looking at having some guests on from down under and other places in the future. And we'll see if that comes to fruition or not. I've had other plans. I've had to work a lot more than I normally would. And, we'll just have to see. But that'll be fun. What's my thoughts? Random guy comes out with the question at the last second. My thoughts on Leviathan. Big fish, something like that. I don't know, random guy. It's all done. You'll just have to rewind and whatever. Anyways, guys, that's what I got. Hopefully Jimmy will be back. Hopefully Jimmy's mom's doing all right. Thanks, Josh. And, we'll see you guys next time.